welcome back to Humanities. Thanks. It's all right.
Are you talking to me? Oh, okay.
I don't know. That wasn't the great start. Sometimes we have like a little chat before we start this sort of thing, and then we're like, oh yeah, we should just start recording. But we tried that this time, and clearly arsed it up. So yeah, we had a hello, Paddy. By the way,
Hi. How are you?
I won't just refer to you as the audience. I'm all right actually. I've had a day off today. So,
To be honest, you can refer to me as the audience all you want because all I've done today is listen to you talk.
What?
Well, I've been catching up on my podcasts and I listened to the episode of Dark Insight you were on because I'm quite behind. I was listening to that during the day, and then when that finished, the next podcast that queued up was your last time on Sound of Play. I'm like, will you fuck off out of my headphones? Can you leave me alone?
Okay.
I'm talking to you tonight.
So this was a badly scheduled podcast then, was it?
Yeah, you need to just stop talking for about 4 hours.
Okay, I nearly did stop talking altogether on that Dark Insight because we both had Skype problems with new versions of Skype just not working at all.
Oh man!
And
Skype, best program ever, right?
Well, mine broke down, and I was like, I'll fix that in a bit. And then I got invited on Dark Insight. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'm just gonna get Skype up and running, and it took ages. So it's about 45 minutes in when I knock on the door.
45 minutes later.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was a bit of a strange old run for us for the end of 2015. My hours started to pull in crazy directions, and you and I didn't really get much chance.
Yeah, every free evening I had was kind of full up with socializing. I mean, like, damn these humans that ingratiate themselves into your life. I want to talk about vid games.
You see, I've cut most of those out. Most of the humans that I interact with are imaginary in the Narnia land of Twitter. But yeah, it wasn't really just an effect on our friendship either. It was about playing games as well. We've got our... What are you doing?
I'm moving the loud chocolates away from the microphone. I've thrown them across the room.
I thought you were going to start eating biscuits then or something.
No, it's a bag of reindeer droppings.
Because you do. Were you eating chocolate tools or something?
Yes, I got some tools for Christmas, some chocolate ones. They were tasty.
Yeah, and by that I mean we big chocolate dicks. Chocolate dicks. So yeah, we've got a Destiny clan with our Milky Scorpion friends, and it became harder for me to crash into that and enjoy it. And I ended up sort of feeling burned out, not just with the hours that I was doing, but also from the game in that regard. Because I don't know, it was just difficult to kind of launch into that after being knackered. So yeah, games there were games I picked up at that point as well, which I didn't have much time to invest in. Never mind really kind of wanting to with many of them. I just didn't really fancy them in the time I got to myself. So yeah, we'd normally do sort of an end of year best of show. And then we do like the games that we're looking forward to in the following year, and it's not really worked out this year.
Nah, we've been a bit delayed, haven't we? And it's kind of, I wouldn't say passed us by, but we've advanced quicker than it feels like, because it's February already. What the hell?
But I don't know. I mean, as I tried to sort of put the ducks in a row a little bit and sort of see where I'd been last year. And what I've been doing, because it's a very strange gaming year and personal year last year as well, sort of mixed into it. So it was interesting looking back at that and trying to rationalise it and plan it out. But yeah, I mean, as a slight aside from the gaming stuff, but affecting all of that Christmas chaos with the hours and stuff. Tokusatsu and my love of it became like my brightest favourite escape. As shifts could start as early as 7 a.m. And at times I could be getting home close to midnight, and a few of those were sandwiched close together. So the fatigue
Which
from
is
one,
wrong, right? That's garbage.
Yeah, it is wrong, because you get home and you'd still have to have like a little bit of something to eat and to unwind. And when you're in sort of first thing the next morning, it has an accumulative effect with fatigue and stuff. So yeah, when I did get home and got time to myself, it was, I don't know, investing in a game wasn't as obvious as losing myself in sort of a brilliant superhero world of smiles, heart, and imagination, and it really really plugged into those moments massively. So I guess that was a case of the situation of life plugging into something that I was getting into, and the two of them sort of locking together quite nicely. I mean, my love of Kamen Rider, of Super Sentai, of Space Sheriff, and Ultraman continues to grow and grow. And even today, I've watched a few juicy new bits that had me sort of cooing. Oh, and there's this one that I think you will really, really love. It's really 2000 AD Star-Lord.
Okay.
But that's one for next time.
Oh.
Yeah. Cheeky. I might even sort of tease you towards this and see how you get on, because that might be kind of cool. But it's wholly Japanese, but it feels very English comics from the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
So I'm all about them comms.
Yeah, I when I was watching this, because there's been various bits where I've said to my mate, like when I was watching the Kamen Rider 3 film, that it felt I don't know, very very old school Marvel. It felt very Stan Lee, and the Kamen Rider 4 miniseries that followed that was quite Chris Claremont, and yeah, it's been easy to sort of plug into the different kind of, I don't know, comics that I used to enjoy, and the way that Tokusatsu celebrates them. But this one kind of took me off guard, so I'm gonna give you a go with this one and see what you reckon. But
send me a link, and then on the next show we can talk about.
Yes, but I think it continues to get quirkier and quirkier. Plus, there's been a couple of episodes of an Ultraman series that I've been watching from a few years ago, which were directed by Takashi Miike, who directed Ichi the Killer, and was in Battle Royale, and they were awesome, just awesome. And again, they got that real sort of 80s UK comic scene, almost like a UK. You know when UK comics used to do almost like a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
Yeah,
it just got this really off kilter feel to them, and yeah, loved them to pieces. So yeah, I'm still sort of getting into that sort of stuff as we go along. But boinging back to games.
Games, what are they?
I don't know. Let's talk about them. Let's try and rationalise last year.
Okay, 2015.
Yes. Amidst all that Christmas stuff, I was still a sod for a bargain. So as Black Friday and festive times were shiting their tinsel-sewn chaos, I was taking advantage of online stores battling for attention, be that sort of cheap prices or extra money towards trade-ins. But the reason that we're doing this now is that many of those games I'm only really getting a chance to kind of dive into now. So, where have you been, sir?
Where have I been?
Yeah, like gaming wise, and 2015. How would you
and the last for you?
The last month as well, I guess.
Well, my last month has been ridiculous. I have a list of, I think, 9 games that I've either put a lot of time to or finished in the last month, which is mad. Which I might very well save for next time, because if we do that now, we will literally be here until tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I've got more stuff.
I'm turning that page back over to let's talk about one that I only just got into at the start of the year, really, but started playing just before Christmas. Witcher 3.
Yeah, go on through that, because we've both got this.
Yeah, I mean this comes in on my official list I've written. This is coming in at number 5, only because I literally got into it maybe the week before Christmas, and didn't quite get enough of it under my belt to get a taste for it at the time that I wrote the list. Now probably be a bit higher, but it's not 2015, so I'm not counting it.
No.
It's there now.
You can do this.
It's fine.
You can do this because we're focusing that lens now. It doesn't even have to be in an order.
What?
You can use the rationale of February Paddy Stardust and not just kind of drive your DeLorean back to December the 31st. You can do this. Put all the information in there.
Let's use science. Okay.
Build a bigger sandwich.
Witcher 3 then. Well, I picked it up because a really stupid price came around. It was like 25 quid or something dumb at Game pre-owned. You put me onto this. It was either 20 or 25. It was really like stupid price. You're like, well,
$22.99 second hand.
That's it. Yeah. It's like, well, of course I'm going to buy it for that. I mean, like we've got obviously good friend Cheers from Cronk Chain Podcast. It's been a long day.
How are the braces coming along?
Good. The metal does stick in your gums quite a bit, and the head brace hurts.
What do they call braces in the States? They call them something like
retainers.
That's it. I was going to say gum defenders, but that sounds like a really good cartoon in the 80s.
I'd watch that shit.
Defenders of the gums.
Just like evil cavity men marching along a sea of teeth.
Yeah, I used to have this vision as a kid that when dentists closed their stores, they used to shrink down to microscopic size and drill into your teeth like Mr. Driller, and they would cause all of the problems in your teeth and basically make work for themselves.
They'd make their own work. Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Like a mobster who would take protection money, and if they didn't pay, then you'd beat them up and take the money anyway. That's good.
I don't know. I think it was a bit more superior than that.
Dentists, well corrupt.
Witcher 3.
Speaking of corrupt, Witcher 3. It didn't corrupt at all. What am I saying? So I started playing it a bit over Christmas, and kind of like it was one that I kind of went in and out of for a while. Like I played it for a little bit and kind of floated away, and then came back again and floated away again. Like it's one that I will play for like 3 or 4 days. I'll do nothing but Witcher 3, and then I'll give it a rest for a week. And then I'll come back and I'll play another few days, and then I'll give it another rest for a week. And do you know what? I think that's actually working really well for me because, it's such a big game. Like, it is tremendously large. I think I worked out that I am 38 hours into it at this point. I do not feel that I have scratched the surface of the main game yet. Like, I don't feel like I'm. It's the sort of same thing you do in a Skyrim or a Fallout. You spend so long running around dicking about that, like, you haven't really touched the main game yet. I've not been to guys that have played this. I'm level around 15 now, and I've not been to Skellige, which the game really, really, really wants me to go there because every time I finish a quest, the next one that pops in is you should find a boat to Skellige. You should go to Skellige. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go deal with the man who's looking for his goat. Fuck off.
But I like mini quests like that, and I think that's part of the problem that I had with Dragon Age Inquisition. That I like to sort of marinate in a level and do all the quests and do all the stuff and find all the bits and almost Uber level for wherever I'm going to next. And Dragon Age Inquisitions were just shit, absolute shit. And when I became sort of a little disenchanted with that, folks were saying, "Oh, you should do the main story." It's like. Ubisoft gets criticised for all of this stuff for filling the game with too much tat. It just feels like they've built this world and they've not finished it.
I can see that.
And I think that from the things I've heard you say and Chris say on Chomp Chain, that also Josh Garrity as well was talking about this on Twitter recently, that it's really redefined what an open world is with regards to these sort of quests. I think Dragon's Dogma did some great stuff in this regards as well, to be fair.
Yeah. But for me, like Witcher 3 has taken that ball and it's run with it so hard. Like, it's kind of incidental dialogue, and like every subquest is interesting and there's something to it. There's some flavour and there's some nuance, and like you finish a quest, there's like quest complete, and you think, is it complete? I don't feel like I saw all of that. I feel like I fucked that up. Is there more to that? Chris, again, on a recent Chomp, was saying that he did a quest where some people went missing, and he talked to the people nearby, and they're like, no, he's not there. And he's like, no, you're hiding something. You're cannibals. But he gave him like a quest complete marker when he'd spoken to them. So he reloaded his save and ran around a bit and just found these corpses chopped up in the back room. And went back going, hang on, no, you definitely are cannibals. And the fact the game will just carry on, it will give you a resolution. It will just carry on without you if it wants to. But like the incidental dialogue you get, like I was walking through Novigrad, which is like the big city in the game, really, really huge, and like it's one of the best cities I've walked around in. Like you can't climb over the buildings like you would in, say, in Assassin's Creed, but like the amount of colour and the amount of depth, just to every kind of human being in the game feels like their own person. Like you walk past and people spit on you. Or as quite hilariously, one evening I was walking down the street and a bloke in a cloak walked past and said, "You should wash your hair, mate." It's like, what? to which Laura was watching, and we both broke down in fits. Like we couldn't deal with it. Like it's really funny because people hate you. Like they seem to be that weird sort of dichotomy where you are like the toughest man in the world, but everyone in the world will just put you on blast for everything.
But I find this really interesting in that most games, especially nowadays, are all about the character creator, about you creating your own your version of yourself or whoever you want to be in that game, and not specific characters in themselves. But I think walking around as a long silver-haired bearded man, you really get a feel for Geralt. You start to like him, and the dialogue is so well written,
isn't it?
And beyond cliche. And I think that even though I've not gotten that far into it, I was struck by a bit in the tavern at the start where there were two guys that were really laying into Geralt. And there was just a certain point where, there was a choice I could make with regards to the response, but it wasn't just saying sort of the version that I'd chosen. It was a piece of dialogue which surprised me on the end of it, and he just went, I don't know. Normally in games like this, they might smash a table or pull it away, and like all the Gwent cards go flying, or he picks something up and smashes it. He just says, "I'm running out of patience," and it just stops them dead. And that's at the point where I thought, you've got some brilliant writers on this. This is really, really wonderful.
Yeah, it's not just Geralt either. Like all the sub characters all have their own kind of like quirks and foibles, and they're funny and they're flawed and they're charming and they're unique. And like, you know, I can pick 5 or 6 characters out of the air that I can, you know, really, really sort of relate to and like find really like I want to talk to them a bit more. But their quest is finished, so I can't. But like the Bloody Baron in particular is one of the early sort of big quest lines. Such a like nuanced and like deeply, deeply flawed guy. But like he has like a few moments where you start to see actually he is a human. He's a human being in there. You know, he's not just I am evil and I am doing bad things because bad things are bad and I like blood because I am a baron. Like he's really like, you know, haunted by his own mistakes and really sort of starts to come to terms with, you know, what he's done. You know, the sadness he's wrought on himself, and does feel, you know, changed by the time he finished. He's still a bastard, but he's a bastard who's, you know, trying to do better by the end of his quest. And like that's brilliant, like an actual character arc within the game. And like I don't know of any like game I've played, I would say this year, where the characters have this much depth and this much interest and this much just personality to them. And the writing, like you say, the writing is so good. Like it's so good. I would walk around and I spent, what was it, 20 minutes just chatting to people as part of a quest. It was one of the sort of walk around and kind of hunt someone down missions where you're kind of chatting to people, and like every single conversation I had something new to it, and it was interesting and it was funny, and I just wanted to see what they were going to say next. And outside of what thing am I going to kill next, it's like, no, who am I going to talk to next? That's what I want to know.
I think often you get games that, and films in this regard, it's one of my issues with Nolan's take on the Batman movies is that...
But you hate that film, don't you?
Fucking Dark Knight. Don't get me started. But when something seems a little bit too try-hard, when it's grey and it's black and it's brown and we're setting this tone and this is the tone we're going for, I tell you what, give me the full paint box, because nothing catches you off guard more when you're shocked or you're frightened than having laughed. Or, you know, being invested in people and their quirks rather than just like these little sort of cookie cutter quest givers or people that deliver a line of dialogue and then sort of wander away or just stare you down. And you mentioned Assassin's Creed there. I mean, they've pushed the next Assassin's Creed back to 2017, or to say push back, apparently it has got a longer development cycle. But Witcher 3 is the kind of the guiding light in that regard, and it is supposed to be like more of an open world, and that's what they're going for. So it'll be really interesting to see the impact this game has on future games going forward, because it really has shaken things up. And
it's had the ambition, and it's achieved it. Like, it's achieved what it's set out to do. Like, it's a mind-boggling game. The amount of content that's in there that's meaningful, it blows the mind.
Yeah, mate. But let's just step back a little bit and see that they gave away loads of free DLC anyway.
Yes,
and
they
did. When the actual DLC arrived, it's supposed to be brilliant. Well, the first part of it's supposed to be brilliant. Is the second one out yet? I don't think it is.
Not yet. No, not for a little bit yet.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and like I'm nowhere near it yet, but good old pal Bread Knight, I used to know from the Polygon forums, had a spare code, so I've got a code for that when I'm ready for it.
Oh, sweet!
Which is amazing, because he bought it for the Gwent cards that came with the special edition.
Yeah,
I had a spare copy. I'm like, okay, sure.
Do you understand Gwent?
Mate, I don't. I tried. I've tried, and I really tried, and I just get beaten every single time, because it's like, oh, you had the power that means you get all the cards, and I don't understand it. I think it's passed me by. I think I can live my life without Gwent.
Yeah, there'll be.
And I know that will be sacrilege to some listeners. Gwen Stefani, in particular.
There'll be a bit on Twitter where it's like, Gwent has clicked. I can't even say it. Gwent has clicked.
Well, am I going to have the same thing that I had with fucking Blitzball, where I didn't like it for 10 years and then played it again on the Vita, and suddenly it made sense? Like, oh my god, I was wrong.
This is a yes. You see, one of the things that's leading me back towards Witcher 3 and has been a reminder within this conversation as well, is that Jay Taylor is a really big fan of Lone Wolf and Cub, like I am. And when I was gouging out the flat for a property inspection the other day, I was sort of rearranging all my Lone Wolf and Cubs, and I was like, I'm gonna read all of these again. But he was saying like it felt to him like he was a wandering Ronin, like going through these towns and stuff. And I was like, I hadn't even considered that, but yeah, Christ, yes. Also, do a Lone Wolf and Cub game like that, please. That would be incredible.
But yeah, Witcher 3, it's fucking good, man. It's really good, and I don't feel like I'm even halfway through it yet, which is terrifying and brilliant at the same time.
Right, I shall have a bounce between a game that I've just started playing and one which has been a favourite. So I started Fallout 4 a few weeks ago. I did.
I didn't know you got that. You've been secretive again.
Well, I mentioned around Christmas time, Black Friday, that there were lots of offers that were going on, and the UK video game store Game was doing a thing whereby they were giving an extra 5-10% against new game trade-ins.
Reasonable. And
Amazon at this time were doing these stupendous Black Friday deals. So you get things like the 3DS game Codename Steam.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know of that. Yeah,
went up for £5. And I looked on Games Trading site, and they were giving £10 as a trade-in, but obviously I get more from that. So it's like, I can make myself lots of money towards like new games. So I got, what was it? Final Fantasy Type 0, which I'd bought and never played. And that came up on Amazon for £5, and I realised that they were giving £10 plus extra credit at Game. So I was like, well, I can buy that again and then get more money for it in trade. So I ended up playing my bases like that and getting Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I've still not cracked massively into, and Fallout 4. But Fallout 4 was just left until recently, I guess.
Sorry, I'm allergic to Xbox One exclusives. I apologise. Carry on.
Well, you are a PS4 owner.
Well, okay, carry on. I'm
yeah,
back.
And this must manifest in anger. It must manifest in anger. That's something we can cover in a future episode as well, because
get there.
We've got some belters on both sides of the fence with that one. But
baby news coming soon.
So yeah, I think we've got another episode of this in us.
Definitely.
But anyway, so yeah, with Fallout 4, I loved the opening. And there was one point where I swore at the telly in a good way.
Okay.
And I was like double invested. So the world unveiled, and I started to explore, and honestly, I'm a bit bored.
See, now this clicks quite nicely for me because this was my official pick for a game that I was going to get but didn't.
Okay,
was Fallout 4 because, like, I don't know, like I liked Fallout 3. I thought New Vegas was a bit wank. I didn't like it. I played it on the PC and I just couldn't get on with it. Like I just found it a bit too fiddly compared to the last one. And Fallout 4, I just look at it. It's like, yeah, it looks good, but I've got The Witcher now.
Well, I mean, I initially bounced off Fallout 3 back in the day.
Back in the day.
To
Did you get the one that had the lunchbox with it and the bobblehead?
No, I just got like a standard one.
Oh, mate, the little lunchbox is amazing. It sits on my shelf still. I love it.
At the time, it just didn't click with me. And then when Skyrim was coming out, I stuck it back on and really fell into it. And then rented Skyrim from LaFilm and missed VATS in the attacking and just
because Skyrim's magic is horseshit.
Well,
so
no,
like the magic is the I suppose the substitute for that, and like Fireballs was just miss.
It's not that. I think I'd really it really clicked with me. I mean, at that point, I think I was out of work and couldn't afford to heat the flat, so I was literally existing under a duvet. Didn't quite know what the world was going to bring, and the apocalyptic wasteland clicked rather nicely with that.
I
to
suppose,
be fair,
yeah.
with sort of dark nights and extreme cold. So yeah, at that point, I really loved Fallout 3. But I don't know. I've not really done much of anything story-wise. I've just been bollocking about and exploring. But that investment I had in the opening moments has kind of fizzled and faded. And looking around at the world, I'm not really seeing like loads where I kind of, I'm going to go over there. I've not given up entirely, but open world fun in this regard has been superseded. And I'll sort of click into one of my favourites of last year now, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, okay.
So
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 15 minutes of CJ talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X portion of the show.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's an interesting contrast because Fallout 4 obviously got huge amounts of publicity and was incredibly popular, was a massive seller. And I think it was Simon Parkin who wrote a piece for it was somewhere like the New Yorker or Bloomberg or Huffington Post, where he said that Xenoblade Chronicles X was a better game. And yeah, I mean, this had been on my most anticipated list forever. It's been on my E3 lists, most wanted.
Yeah.
The end of the year ones. I was really looking forward to this. The world is massive, colourful, like really wonderful to engage with. And even taking in the same edict as my Fallout 4 playthrough, ignoring lots of story and pure exploring brought tons of fun. Like, lots of this real open-mouthed awe and massive moments of constantly being tempted off piste and then wondering how the heck I was going to get past that and those. I hadn't figured fast travel. It just hadn't crossed my mind. I was just wandering around and kind of doing stuff. So it should have been far easier than I was making it. But those instances of feeling utterly lost always reckon amongst my favourites in gaming. I felt more connected to the world in a way that I didn't with Fallout 4. Bethesda's game seems to be content with nailing the obvious to the mast at this point, and the world isn't throwing out much to inspire. No real, I have to go there, or what the chuff is that over there? Just lots of kind of blascape and, oh, is that a radar dish? Oh, there are people inside. Oh, and they have dropped clothes. I appear to now be wearing the frame of a Victorian bed, and I'm assured I'm very tough now. So I'm undoubtedly doing Fallout 4 a disservice, but such is the initial apathy, I guess.
I can see that. I mean, I'm apathetic towards Fallout 4. I haven't even fucking played the thing yet.
Well, I mean, in contrast, Xenoblade's New Los Angeles was a massive sort of dome that was dropped from a starship in the middle of a battle. Initially, all these ships were trying to escape Earth. Most of them were destroyed. There was a huge sort of huge battle across sort of space, and then New Los Angeles was dropped on this new planet that you explore. And mentioned that the world is incredible to adventure in, but New Los Angeles as a city within that world is it's huge. It's easy to get lost in the world inside a world, and it features lore. Like, rather than being a place of sort of purely of super high-tech uberchrome, the residential district has been created to resemble hometown America. There are shops, there are supermarkets, there are businesses, coffee shops.
Hey!
And obviously it's my mission to discover every coffee shop in every game ever. And here I met a barista who'd broken a coffee machine, offering up a quest for me to bring back some pipes or other, which I already owned. Did I sense this? So I met the owner, who imparted a bit of wisdom, which really struck home. She spoke of the mining probes that I'd be dropping sort of all across the world and stuff, and said that they weren't just looking for obvious minerals and oils. Imagine what a coffee bean native to this planet would be like, what it would taste like. I just sat back and just went, fuck off.
It's like they knew.
It's like they knew.
So they've got like a team of guys that sit there looking at who's playing their game and go, what are they into? Quick, write something. It was converted by 84 Play, who I listen to and always replug. So they can only know it's me. But yeah, other people on the ship mentioned that the resources that they had, that the processing plants were struggling more and more with the things that they were asked to do, and somebody on board the ship had suggested just digging a hole and dumping it in that. But the person I spoke to was reluctant to do what they did on Earth to a new planet. There was somebody else I spoke to who spoke of the food given to the people, that it was all generated and synthetic, and they laughed about the true nutrients, but at this time full bellies were important. And it's little things like this which anchor me to a world, be it fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever. I become more invested in it as a result. Sadly, sort of December chaos dissolved my involvement a little bit, but it really is one of 2015's true standouds for me. You got a robot yet?
No.
Oh.
Although there are lots of people who say, "Oh, that's the really big moment when you get the robot and stuff," and I know that our friend Ellie, that was the point where she kind of put it down. She said it wasn't as much fun to bollock about in the robot, because things that took you ages to get to, you're now there in a heartbeat. So, but yeah, I mean, in closing, there is just something really special about. And again, this is a criticism that some people have said of like, oh, you can go into an area and like something will turn up which would just fucking twat you, and you know is massively over level. But I like that degree of oh shit.
Yeah.
How do I get past you? Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Fuck off.
That's exactly it. And just thinking like, I should really head back. I shouldn't be down there. Oh, what's that? Or the game not going out of its way to explain itself to you. Like there's an electric storm, and you constantly run out of health. Like, you know, your health starts diminishing, and if you hide in a cave, it stops. Or if you go inside a house, it stops, but it doesn't go, oh, that is an electrical storm, you should go inside.
Put your body in that.
Yeah, and I mean, the game's not perfect and stuff, but I think it's a fantastic video game. It's very old school. The combat mechanics are outstanding, and I do need to get back to it, because it is a belter.
Nice.
I like it very much, sir.
You like it very much, sir. Okay, well, let's bounce into an open world game that I really liked this year.
Okay, then.
Okay, which appeared on our last list. Our last game of the year list that we did near the end, that I got into eventually. Fucking Shadow of Mordor, guy.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I played it in January. Yeah, it took me a while to get to it because I had it at Christmas, but I just didn't. I hadn't even put it in the PS4. I had it, but I was like, I want to do it properly. And after Christmas, in January,
would this count as your older game which rocked your world?
No, I've got one of those as well, but no.
Well, you can. I
have a much older game which can fit into that nicely, but it was just on the cusp of Christmas. It didn't quite count last year, but it has remained in my brain. It was one of the first things I wrote down on my list of ones that I liked this year. Which is
I remember now. It was one of those that like you hadn't played enough of.
Yeah, I barely tickled it. I'd turned it on and gone, oh look, I'm a ranger, and then turned it off.
I own this, and have not even installed it.
Mate, let me tell you why you should. So Mordor, right? So if you're listening, you probably know what Mordor's about. You're a ranger in the Lord of the Rings world, and you're running around in the Lord of the Rings world.
I hate the Lord of the Rings.
This is fine. Don't worry. It's not very Lord of the Rings.
I understand this.
It's more like sort of like Grimsby.
Shadow of Grimsby.
Yeah, Shadow of Grimsby.
Forsooth, is that Sauron's eye? No, it's Doc's, mate. No, it's Doc's. It's Doc's, mate.
So as you run around this Mordor world, this harrowing, grim town, you'll meet orcs to kill, as you do. But some of them will have names, and they'll have personalities, and they will learn you, and they will start to hate you, and they will start to learn how to fight you. If you don't kill them very good, they will remember what you did last time and get better at blocking that. So say you, a particular named orc, like an orc captain, and you do a lot of combat finishes to him, which are kind of like the big super kind of like hold two buttons and fuck you up. Unless you cut off their head, they're not really dead. Like, they can come back. But we'd be like, right, they've come back and they're now immune to combat finishes. Now what? It's like, oh, shit. Okay, now what? And they kind of, every time you lose, they grow in power. So you'll be fighting away, you'll be running around the world, and you'll just hear a, hello again, Ranger. Won't be trying that move on me again. It's like, oh, shit, he knew. He remembers me. And literally, every orc that kills you gets a name, gets a rank, gets his own set of powers. And, like, they're so, they're beautifully ugly. Like, every single orc in that game looks amazing. Like, they're all like gnarled and warty and lumpy, and they all look so different. Like, you wouldn't have thought like orcs could look that varied, but like every single one of the ones I had looked unique. I remembered them by face. Like, they come up like, oh look, it's Ronk who flees. Oh, he's running away again. Nice. Like, literally, his whole thing was he runs away. He turns up, goes fuck this, and leaves.
Now, talking about influences on future games, and we've mentioned that The Witcher 3 will be in that regard. Do you think? I mean, I've seen nothing, even in previews, that's of games that have leaned into the fact that they're doing their own version of the Nemesis system. And given
let me just wind you back there, Mad Max.
What? It's not got the Nemesis system.
Yeah.
No.
I heard it has. You meet named goons, don't you? And they come back to you. They remember you. Is that right? I thought it was like I thought Mad Max was doing it as well, because it's made by Warner Brothers as well.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Bollocks.
Warner Brothers is just publisher. I do want to play Mad Max.
So do I. I just haven't gotten near it.
Yeah, but that's one of those where I've been waiting for the right price, and obviously this is sacrilege. But I have been put off by the movie.
God, we need to have a talk when this is over.
Well, I
don't think we can be friends anymore.
Just fair enough. We said this is your last ever. Some people will be dancing. There will be blowing up balloons. The last ever. Why have I listened?
But back on Mordor. Like, I developed a love-hate relationship with so many of those goddamn orcs. Like, the combat was good. It's basically Batman combat. Like, it's attack, it's counter, it's stun, and it's do a little cool flip. But like, there was one I met, and I've been frantically trying to remember his goddamn name while we've been talking, and I can't bring it to mind. But as soon as I see a picture of his face, I will know who he is. He was this archer fuck called something like Urik or Uthil or Uka or something like that. This piece of shit had like a poisoned crossbow, and I'd be running around and he'd just turn up, like stood on a ledge, and he'd go, one more for you, Ranger, like scratches all down his face where I ruined him last time. This motherfucker got me about 6 times. Like, he just kept shooting me from miles away, and I just could not get close enough to do him in. When I finally cut his head off, I think I whooped. I stood up from my counter and I whooped like, I got you!
Was it a freedom?
Yeah, literally. And the fact that you can pause the game and do the whole like screenshot thing, like it had the screenshot mode in when I played it like straight away. So I took so many pictures of that moment. There's still one on my PS4 of this head upside down flying through the air. And I think if you look, you can see the reflection of me going in the screen. You can't. That was a lie.
I still remember on Timur Hussein's YouTube account that he'd done sort of various videos, and yet the one which had got like 1 billion views was just this 30-second one of somebody that he had come back to fight him, who was just chomping his teeth together, just like a.
Yeah, oh my god, I've got one like that. I had one like that. He just like rattle his teeth and go like he'd honk and oink at you. You're like, this is terrifying, and he's chasing me now.
Yeah,
but honestly, by the time I got one that was only speaking in rhymes, I'm like, I don't want to kill that one. I want to keep meeting him, having him say things, and then I want to run away.
See, this was a game where I'm sure I was playing other things, and I was thinking, again, I'll wait for this to hit a certain price. And then there was a point where I'm sure it hit something like 12 quid second hand briefly. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'll go for that. And just never... I'm sure, because I mentioned before, I am a sod for a bargain. And if I see the right game at a right price, I've no problem with putting it on a pile, because it's got to that price and I might never see that price again.
True.
But yeah, there can be strange stuff like that. But
yeah, Mordor was my like secret hit of like the year for me. Like it's been the one that I keep thinking about, and I keep thinking that was great. Like because I liked the orcs. Like the orcs are such a character. Like and there's the combat's fun. You know, the actual gameplay is pretty good. But like the orcs are just so full of like spark and like amusement, because they've all got this kind of really thick sort of hello ranger, or do you want to buy some double glazing? Like you just shit they
don't
come
say
out
that,
with.
do they?
It's only single glazing in Lord of the Rings world.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they've not developed that technology yet. That was disingenuous of me, and I apologise. But like every time, it was always ranger. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like it made me laugh. And if I want to kind of have another game like that in another world, like. Put that in Witcher. Like have like a zombie turn up, like Witcher.
I get the impression that you might like Mad Max anyway, not just because you love the film, but the car stuff looks fun.
I've heard,
the car stuff looks ace.
Drive the car and make the thing go bang. Like fine, sure.
And again, I think Jay Taylor's enjoying it. Sean Bell's been really sort of beating a drum for it. Guy Woodward said it's really underrated, but I think those guys picked it up on PC for a crazy cheap price, not far from launch, and the PS4 and Xbox One versions have only really tickled at 20 quidish recently, and I think if there's a gaming gap and it hits 12 to 15 quid, that to me is a jump in. But at this point, I've got stuff to play. Dark Souls 3 is coming up, so I don't know. You know, sometimes you put that on your horizon and you go, yeah, if I have like a week off or, you know, a car crash or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's appropriate.
Either or. What a dichotomy.
Look, it happens to be like this. Whoa, smash! Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
We're really concerned. Is there anything we can do? Get a good price for Mad Max. Fair play.
Yeah. So, yeah. Mordor, yo. Great game. Right. Official number 4. Boom.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to jump into older game which rocked my world, and then you can sort of shovel in your own sort of...
I'll give you mine, yeah, okay.
It's only sort of a brief foray, but...
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
You tart.
Oh.
Dirty sex worker. So yeah, I'm gonna put in here Final Fantasy 13.
Oh yeah, you're one of those people, aren't you?
I'm one of those people. Yeah, I'm one of these people. And the great thing about sort of going on about this previously was that it's shown me again that the people who despise Final Fantasy 13 live in the comments of the internet. And yet, when I've mentioned this on the show, and I've mentioned this on Twitter, there's been loads of people that have come out and have gone, I really love that game too, it was great, and I really like this about it, and I really like this about it. And it's wonderful in gaming anyway, when you get that kind of balance. because it makes for good conversations. And if people aren't jumping in just going like, I played that track, it sucked. If there are people that are jumping in with genuine conversation, that's really good fun. But I mentioned previously that I've listened to the soundtrack for years. I love the soundtrack. Very talented lady who was my songwriting partner in my last band. Also obsessed about the soundtrack, but she played the game to pieces beyond finishing it.
She 100%ed it, didn't she?
Huh?
100%ed it. I've heard this story already today.
She super played it to pieces, and it became really important to her. And she loved Lightning. She loved these characters, and her favourite parts of the soundtrack. The 10 favourite songs from the soundtrack. She had tattooed on her legs as well, in Japanese.
I knew that because I heard you tell that on another podcast earlier today.
Yeah. Well,
it's really cool.
And to add to that, I think she actually, if I remember beforehand, she had a tattoo of Bahamut on her shoulder anyway. So
has she amended that tattoo to include Crazy Chocobo from Final Fantasy 13 too yet?
Probably
that is
not.
One of the greatest songs to ever be in any Final Fantasy ever. I'm sorry, it's incredible.
We haven't spoken for a few years, and I hope she's well because she was a good friend back then. But so I'd remained fascinated about the game for years, and I'd sort of put it on, I'd played it, I got to a certain point, and then I'd started playing something else, and I picked it up really cheaply second hand before Christmas. And
you picked up all three, didn't you, or was it just the one?
Yeah, I picked up all three. I already owned the guide for the first one. I picked up the limited edition guide for Lightning Returns for £5 last week, which has got a big section with the artwork and stuff inside. And to complete them, I managed to get a new copy of the hardcover version of 13.2's guide for £5 last night, which was, again, so I've got all three of them to sit on the shelf. And even last night when I just finished sort of a long shift and I crashed out and I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was looking at stuff on the net to do with Final Fantasy 13, be it like t-shirts, special editions, all that kind of gubbins. Obviously there's been the Lightning stuff with the Louis Vuitton promotion, which has been really, really quirky and cool. But listening to the amazing new episode of Chomp Chain, which I think is 28, 13's mentioned as being one of those games which has an emotional connection to it, that of dealing with the sadder hues, and that the long corridor comment that the game is often damned with can be seen as pulling you and driving you and the characters onwards. But
didn't you buy the magazine as well with the adverts?
I was looking at the magazine in W.H. Smith's, and thankfully I got a marvellous scarf on that day. My hair was tousled and massive, and I'd say it was the right side of David Lynch, whilst suggesting that on a different day it could almost be Paul Phoenix from Tekken.
Wow!
You see, that's the way that I can look at ladies' fashion magazines, and people can go, ooh.
Is this whole last 10 minutes just your elaborate excuse because you wanted to buy a copy of Vogue?
No, the weird thing was
the things you'll do to justify it.
I started from the back of the magazine and I was sort of flicking backwards, and I saw all the actual models on runways wearing the costumes. And then as I was flicking back and kind of getting more and more panicky that I just looked like a twat, I got the actual bits with Lightning were like about page 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's really cool. But I am fascinated with it. I've tickled it a little bit into the Final Fantasy 15 demo recently as well. So that world is going to continue to be resonant, and I quite like the demo.
I've still not played it, which is insane.
Well, you can get Type 0 on the PS4 now for about a tenner.
It's not terrible. Not terrible. Thing is, I know we're going to get the game anyway, so I don't mind waiting because we're getting it. Like, it's stupid. The only problem in my house with Final Fantasy 15 is which one of us is going to bloody play it. Because I want to play it, and Laura wants to play it, and Laura doesn't want to play stuff if I've already played it because she's already seen it and it's not as fun for her. And I like to, let her play first if she wants to. But like, I also kind of want to play it. So, like, do I start a second save? Do I wait until she's finished and play it after her? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, you're gonna have to schedule that beast.
Bullshit.
It's interesting. It's interesting, and obviously, it's probably not for this show. Probably for the next one. I have actually started Type 0 now after buying it 3 times.
Nice.
Because I mentioned about the Amazon thing that I already owned it, and then there was I was going to get more for the trade than I would do to buy it within their promotions, so I did that, and then the other Saturday. GameSeek had the special edition of Type 0, which features a soundtrack selection, a manga, a massive hardcover art book, the game in steelbook, all in this massive box, which still retails on the same site for $79.95 on PS4, and they put it up for £20 on Xbox One. This is the advantage of playing on a console which sells less than the leading console. Is that there's certain points it's like that's just not fucking selling. Let's kick that out at a quarter of the price. But it's we'll talk about it next time. But it's okay. It's surprising.
Nice.
I'm enjoying it.
Good.
What's the other older game that rocked your world, Mr. Patrick?
Older game that rocked my world, and for this one I'm only including games that I hadn't ever played before.
Okay.
Because I've got a couple of those as well, but we'll come to those maybe later. The game I played this year from long ago that I really enjoyed, that rocked my world, was Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, which is coming to Xbox One backwards compatibility very soon.
Yeah, I've been playing it on... I picked it up on the PSN when it was on sale for about £4. It's usually about £7, so I picked it up for £4. I felt good about that, and I put it on my Vita, which is where I tend to put all my PS1 games on there now because they just work so nicely. I've been playing Final Fantasy 9 on it as well, and it's gorgeous. Like, it's really nice.
Have you heard the Bonfire Side Chat stuff where they've been talking about Shadow Tower?
I've not heard it yet, but I know they've been playing it. Yeah,
that remapping those controls to the Vita, to the sticks and stuff, actually makes it work a heck of a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah, but please continue.
But yeah, simply It's the one Castlevania that everyone always says, this is the one, like that's the one you get. If you're going to play one, you play that one. It's always up there, like games of the ever lists. It's always up there. I thought, well, I've got to try it. And someone said it was like Dark Souls a bit, so I'm like, okay, fine, sure. I'm easy. Yeah, it's like Dark Souls. Go on, give it here. I really like it, man. I really like it. If you don't know what Symphony of the Night is, it's a side-scrolling game where you're a sort of vampire guy running around a castle that's full of traps and monsters and tricks and all sorts of I suppose it's the Metroidvania where that came from, where you run around getting new powers and you can kind of go back through old areas and do more things in those old areas and jump to passages you couldn't reach before. Essentially, you're collecting a whole bag of tricks that you can use to run around the world in. It's just so well designed. There's so much to see in it. Every room has got something new and something cool in it, and a new layout or a new configuration. There's nothing rote in the game. Every room is rememberable, and there's something unique to it. Oh, this is the room with the green guy that throws the hammer. Oh, this is the room with the plant monster. Oh, this is the room with the lady. You remember where you are
with the lady.
With the lady. The lady who's on top of a dragon. But it's got so much personality and quirk to it that I didn't expect. I expected it just to be kind of run around and kill the zombie.
Do listen to that Symphony of the Night Cane and Rinse, because it's one of my favourites, especially the bit where Andy Hamilton says about him and his cousin putting I think it was his cousin putting the game into the stereo and then getting chastised by Dracula, who told them off and said that he could break the stereo. And that they sat there and were just like, oh no, and then the soundtrack kicked in, and the soundtrack was on it, but you were chastised by Dracula or something at the start. It's a really good app. It's one of my favourite episodes of Kenny Rince, and Andy plays a blinder on that. So
nice, cool.
Yeah,
I'll listen to that later. But I've not finished it yet. I don't think I'm even halfway through yet. I've not hit the reverse castle, which I know about, which is sad. I heard about it. but I'm not halfway through yet. But like, at certain times, it's like evil hard, like evil hard. And like that bit where you kind of you're jumping through rooms and you're thinking, please just give me a save room, please just give me a save room. There's 7 different ways out of this room. One of them's got to be a save room. This isn't a save room. This is a locked door. Damn, I'm stuck. Like, I think it's a game that would benefit and would play a lot smoother on your second go when you know where things are. But that's what the whole point of the first go is, to run around and get lost and to make the mistake and get beaten down. And it's very old school, so when you die it boots back to the total screen. You've got to load fresh again, which is kind of fun.
Paddy, I own this game, I've just realised.
Do you?
Yeah, I've got it on 360.
Oh, there you go.
Because they did a tweak on it on 360 where they give you the original graphics and a polished up version, but they were working towards the original Xbox Live Arcade limitations where you couldn't go above a certain file size.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do own it, because when I saw it was coming to Xbox One, it was another one of those where it's like, this is the exact reason why I get excited by this sort of stuff, because it's going to be fun to play it on the new system.
Exactly. I mean, I know I've been playing the PS1 version, which is apparently the wrong one according to some portals of the internet, but you know what? Digital Foundry can fuck off.
Yeah, they can.
Oh no, the frame rate is a little bit slower. It's 50 hertz, not 60 hertz. Oh, it moves so much slower. Fuck off.
Oh, I mentioned it on the Division podcast, but there's a bit on Digital Foundry where they were talking about the Division beta, and they said that the Xbox One generally maintains 30 frames per second, but when you enter the hospital or something, it plummets to 28.
Plummets. Wow.
Honestly.
What, digital hyperbole? Jesus.
I mentioned this when we had a chat the other day, but Danny O'Dwyer was talking about, like, do you remember when you played Hitman and you just like walked into a curtain and you were like, oh, look at the way that moves, it's really nice, and you just spend like 5 minutes walking in and out of a curtain and just going, oh yeah, God, that's really nice, rather than worrying about resolutions and frame rates and all that balls.
I remember when Metal Gear Solid 2 had a custom animation for ice cubes melting when you shot a jar of ice, and it was in one place in the entire game. It was the only place they used that technology, and it was amazing. Like, look at it melt. Oh, it's gone now. Oh, that was fun while it lasted. And like walls of bottles you could knock off. And sure, the frame rate took a hit, but who cares? It was smashy fun time.
Marvellous.
So what would you like to move on to next on this Game of the Year roller coaster spectacular?
Do you have a hidden gem?
Well,
an underappreciated game from that year.
An underappreciated game. Ooh, that's tricky, because a lot of the games I played this year were ones that a lot of people liked. Like,
right. Well, this one is all mine then.
Okay, you take it, because I don't think I have one for this. I might think of one as you talk, but okay. Go. Yeah.
My hidden gem is Rock Boshers, which is on PS4, PlayStation Vita, and PC. It's a brilliant adventure puzzler, almost in the style of an 8-bit 199 Mastertronic cassette that you might find in a garage. It's got a ZX Spectrum mode. It's got an NES mode as well. As you play Queen Victoria, battling the devilish mobs of Mars, whilst refreshing the resolve with scones and tea.
Of course you do.
It's brilliant fun.
This year, or was it? Is that
yeah. It was
really?
this year. Yeah. It just looks old purposely. It's brilliant fun. It's challenging. The gameplay likes to tweak the things it asks of you as you go along through levels and stuff, and keeps you asking questions amongst that. And given how much of indie gaming is about how much the Illuminati jump up and down about it, it's fucking criminal that this game hasn't had more attention, particularly from the UK games press. Ooh. The only person I've heard say anything about it is Ian Higton of Eurogamer, who was the one that turned me onto it. I bloody love it. It's so inexpensive. I'm sure even when I bought it, it was £4. And it remains the bee in my bonnet to bounce up and down about it for people to buy it. When a game has been this lovingly crafted, that looks this good, that's this much fun to play, and is just it's most people will buy PSN credit and buy something else and then have a few quid left over. It deserves to be adored. Plain and simple. I loved it. I'll continue to rattle off about it. Have done over the last year. And please buy it because it's great. And the developers are clearly really proud of it. And on Twitter are always quite happy when people do talk about it. So yeah, please get Rock Boshers. It's ace.
Good. I did pick it up a while ago on your recommendation. I like it. It's quite hard.
It is. When it gets to the third level, I think it's like third or fourth level, and you've got like the drills, and you've got the doors which unlock, and all the zombies come out, and it's often with games from when I was a kid, I look at them and I go, well, would I like that in the modern day? And there's British gaming has a real problem with those games being made available in the modern day, or getting like a HD polish in the same way as NES games would, or Genesis games would, or SNES games would. And yet there are so many people from 8-bit, Commodore, Spectrum, Amstrad Gaming who went on to do massive things in the modern day gaming industry. I just feel that those games are being forgotten, and I wonder if... I mean, I played Paradroid when it came, which was a Commodore 64 game, when it came to the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console, and it was still brilliant. And I got an Amiga emulator for my PSP and played the Amiga version of it, and it was still brilliant. And it really pains me that those games aren't made available in the modern day. And I often wonder if those games are as good as I remember them to be. But Rock Boshers is a perfect snapshot of a game which could have been made in that sort of era, which I'd have played and adored. And in the modern day, I played and adored. And there are so many titles where I want to love them, and I don't, that I think I should do. Things like Rogue Legacy or Shovel Knight, or
I was just about to bring that up, because Shovel Knight does the same thing for me.
Yeah,
it's how I remember them being.
Yeah, but yeah, I love it. I really, really love it. But
nice. Good.
Yes.
I don't think I have an underappreciated game this year.
Okay.
I've got plenty the other way around. I've got plenty that everyone seems to love that I despised, but I don't think I've got any that I love and no one else did. Generally, the things I liked seem to have been quite well liked this year, which is
we'll
nice.
Go on to those in a moment. Have
you
got a game that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah.
At this point?
I'm going to talk about a game that I played a bit on the PC last year, and then it came out on PlayStation Plus, and then it sucked up my life for about a month. Binding of Isaac, mofo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd always been interested in it on the PC, and I did pick it up as part of, I think it was a Humble Bundle at some point, and didn't like the controls on the PC. I couldn't do it with the D-pad and the WASD and the spacebar and the control. It's alien to me. Don't like it. I'm sorry, PC people. I don't like it.
Tell me about your rig.
My rig. It is a computer.
Awesome. Right, yeah. Tell me more about Binding of Isaac.
Binding of Isaac. So I also got the PS4 version, and I kind of tickled into it. And initially I did quite badly at it, because, as you do when you first try a game like that, you don't understand the mechanics, you waste all the things you should be using. I didn't realise how much it cribbed from Zelda until I played Zelda the other week. I was like, oh wow, this is just this, but that's another show.
I know it's for another show, but has it led you on to Zelda?
No, that was independent.
Okay.
But after playing it, I've realised, hang on, wait a second, that is just Zelda Dungeons, isn't it? Come on, son. Anyway, yeah. Isaac. Fucking brilliant. It plays like a goddamn dream. Once you got your heads around the controls, and you can get to grips with the whole random aspect of how everything works. What are you going to get? Or what's this do? How does this change things? Oh, I've got this power. How does that mesh with that power? You can get some combinations that are, so good as to literally break the video game. To make them, there's a character you can pick called Azazel, who's a little flying imp, and rather than shoot tears out of his face, which is the standard one, he baths blood puke, kind of goes bleh, and you have to charge it up, and it kind of baths a little blood puke, which is fine. But then you pick up an item which is like a cat's head that does a burst. So it's like a grenade you can drop down. It does a burst of tears. But because you're Azazel, it doesn't do tears. It does a burst of blood puke. And if you can drop that next to a boss, you win. Like, no joke, you win. And I scummed my way through like some of the hardest bits in the game using that very combination, and just kind of like, yep, beat it, yep, I've beaten the hardest bit, yep, using that, bath next to the thing, win. It's amazing, like properly good when you get a feel for it. But like the variety of stuff you can find, and like the mix up of rooms, like, I've never like got bored of running through dungeons. I've beaten it I've got to the end about sort of 15-20 times now. With varying characters, mostly Azazel because I just like the blood puke guy. But I've mixed around a bit and I've experimented a little bit with it. But there's like so much content there. Like there's challenge modes. It's like, right, beat the game using this particular thing. It's a setup sort of. I think one of them was like the game is dark, so you don't get a map and everything's all dark and you can't see anything. And it's like there's just so much there, and the fact that the Afterbirth DLC is coming soon as well, which has got a whole bunch more shit in it. Like the PC guys have got it, and it's got another like 83 items in it. We haven't got it yet, but it is coming. Like I can see that taking up another month of my life. Like, have you been PS4 or Vita on this? PS4, 99% of it. I tried it on the Vita. I found it controlled a little smoother on the PS4. The Vita did hang a little bit occasionally. Okay. You play it and it would sometimes the frame rate would plummet to 28 frames a second. Plummet. It did have. What a toboggan. There are a couple of hardware issues with it. It's not quite as quick as the PS4 version. It's all right. It's fine. But if you get one of the levels where you've got a lot going on the screen, it does tend to chug a little bit. And I just found that I gelled more on the TV. I could just knock it on, bang through a level, half an hour, do something else. Cool. Yeah, really fun game. Really fun game. And it's like dirt cheap now. And the fact it came out on Plus as well is like a joke. Like so many of my favourite like digital games have come from Plus. And I know you tend to get them and just not look at them. But like for me, like Plus is like the right, try all these. You might like them. And generally, if I don't like it, who cares? Like for Plus works out what? £3 a month? It's worth £3 a month to try a few games. Love Films was more expensive than that. You love your Plus. I love my Plus so much. I would tell anyone to get Plus because I love my Plus games. And the vote to play this month, it's going to have Broforce in it. Broforce is going to win. I'm so happy. I needed that. I think that Broforce and is it Android Assault Cactus is supposed to be really good. The thing is, Action Henk looks great as well. I want to play that too. I want to play all of them. That looks great. But I like that kind of runny, jumpy, wahoo game. You see, this is a bee in my bonnet anyway. That I very, very rarely play any of my games from Games with Gold or PS Plus. I just I don't know. I've got because games Dark Souls is in the disc, isn't it? So why would you ever play anything else? Well, that has been a huge colour of this year, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't value them as much as things that I've bought. And I think that, I mean, especially PS Plus wise, I think the last thing that I dived into was Grow Home. Oh well, that's an outlier because that will. Should we do that now? Yeah. More like Go Home. Anyway, I'm going to talk about something else at length now. Hit me. All right then. It's a game that I got last year and have been coerced into playing again. I just kind of fancy having another pop at it and have had a rather interesting run of late. So I am going to wave a flag for Dying Light. Okay. So I bought around Easter time, played for a bit. Then it dropped in price and I coerced you into getting it. We had, was it just one? One. Trolley around in it, and we did have a massive laugh. It was great seeing you embrace wrestling and zombies and spikes at the same time. But sadly, we didn't co-op it again, and I don't know why. Do you know what as well? I haven't touched it since. No. I haven't touched it. And I think my involvement in the single-player game sort of curtailed as well. I just fancied us like doing stuff. But whenever we got together to play something, I think we then...
Yeah, it was just before like Bloodborne and Scholar arrived and all that kind of...
even, to be fair.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the aftermath of falling out with Fallout 4, Dying Light had been on my mind. I played Far Cry 4 in the middle of that, and Far Cry 4, I was just playing it, just going, all of that sort of super parkour that's there in Dying Light, it was a struggle to get on a roof in Fallout 4, and I was like, nah, I'm just... so that had been lingering for quite a while, but the following expansion was due out any time, but the PS4 was getting a hefty graphical stroke engine upgrade with the... Is it the 5th core that's been unlocked or something? Or I don't know, Digital Foundry stuff.
Let's say it, 5th core, yeah.
Yeah, and I fancied having a Swanee back with it. So it became one of those games that I relaxed into. After work, had a monkey about, twatted lots of zombies.
You relaxed in that game?
Yeah, I did. I genuinely did.
I spent my time running, going, go away, leave me alone.
No, I
my weapon's broke.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know. It was easy to sink into after a day at work. I saw the game's faults within this time. The game world, on the face of it, isn't that dissimilar to the actual township in Dead Island, which, while being an intentional stark contrast to the jolly sparkles of the holiday camp, where you started in the game, it wasn't as much fun to boing about in. I mean, I've twatted around and twatted things in Million Cities, but in holiday camp Butlins, no sir, I had not. And even in Dead Island's sort of screen tearing and all that kind of stuff, I had a bit of a soft spot for it. But anyway, back to Dying Light. The characters are very one note. I'm not sure if this is an intentional nod to the husks scene in most zombie flicks, but in many ways it's a shame at the side of what the game does right. And it's kind of, I don't even know if this is the right term, but it's sort of a situational storytelling. Amidst these kind of biscuit people is a skyscraper filled with survivors, and here there are rooms for sleeping, for teaching, for planning. It's a proper place and it's fit for purpose. I recall one parent smoking a cigarette and watching as their kid played with cars on this huge city playmat on the floor. The kid was lost in running the car around. Mum undoubtedly thinking about the situation of lost loved ones, everything she kept from spoiling the innocence of youth that was before her. And later I returned and there was no parent, and there was just a child sat on a chair, kicking its legs and looking at a car. Nothing said. And many folks would have just sort of battered past this, but I was really struck by it. I mentioned before about seeing a place with "Safe House" written on a big sheet draped outside the window. I got in there, zombies. Just because someone paints on a bit of bedding and hopes for the best doesn't mean they won't be turned. Like, oh, Gladys, must keep the sign in.
No, look, I put up the flag. It's fine. Look, that's how the game works. The flag's up. We're okay for a while.
So yeah, that caught me and my expectations off guard, and I love that. The game initially sets you out in the world, and you start jumping and plotting your way across rooftops, and then at a certain point you realise the zombies are slow, and you start running past them. Bye, twats, gotta go fast.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, the last bit, not the bye, twats. Although I feel like I must draw that in paint now. But yeah, overconfidence sets in. And that I think is one of the classic killers of true zombie films. The game then sends you on missions, and the first drop makes you realise the open city of is it Karan? I think it is. No, it's not Karan. What is it? It's
Karak.
It's something like that.
Karak.
The open. Let's just call it the. No. Something like that.
Yeah.
It's you realise that the place that you start off with is pretty high up, and you go towards the lower class areas and these tight winding buildings that claustrophobically close together. You can't see above them, and the sort of alleyways going around them. If you were walking and somebody walked towards you, you'd have to turn a little bit so they could walk past you. And when you get shumbling zombies around that, you kind of go, oh. And if you can't climb up and you've not got any places to go, even if they start to shuffle and move towards you, there's still this pocket of panic within those 10 seconds of where do I go? And that's ace.
Well, clearly the answer is to jump forward and put both your feet into a zombie's head.
Well, there is that, but you never know who's round the corner or what's coming. And later on, you do get the perk where if you run towards a zombie, you can vault over its shoulders and into the air, and it stuns them for 2 minutes. Well, like
2 minutes,
not 2 minutes.
Wow.
Like time is fast in that game.
Fuck you.
Yeah, which actually is really helpful at times. So it's at this point the sun goes down. Darkness in Dying Light is black, pitch fucking black.
Can't see shit, man. I remember doing that.
You cannot see shit. And this is one of our memories that's coming up as well. So you either get to a safe house and wait until morning, or you explore it. And if you do choose the latter, it doubles your XP, but introduces a super zombie with vision cones, and you can switch on a torch to see where you're going, but it will see you. Leaving your torch off means you can see very little indeed, and forward momentum towards the safe house is interrupted by those shambling, mumbling hordes which you now can't really see, but just hear. In our playthrough, you've got to remember this because this was brilliant. In our playthrough, I was battering through the streets on the motorway. I thought I'd go on to atop traffic to lessen the chance of dying. I jumped onto a bus, made my way across the roof. There was an open skylight. I fell in, a bus full of zombies. I screamed down the microphone and just got torn apart by them. So that was there. That was
great. I remember that, yeah.
Because you've gone a different way. It wasn't as if...
I didn't know where you were. I just ran. I was like, where are you? I don't know.
It is a real degree of panic. And also, in the modern day, zombies are just like supremely quick anyway. But there's something about them being there and standing there that becomes even more terrifying in darkness. So yeah, in my solo run, these last few weeks, I've been drifting through a few missions. One was to fire up a few electrical terminals. This involves climbing a tower or two, flicking a switch, bit Far Cry. Nothing challenging, nothing great. After 2 of them, I was instructed towards a power station. One which I was told has attracted the attention of a number of ferals. And the ferals are the zombies which arrive when you make noise. They run, they climb, you just hear them like piling through the streets. They often come from the sewers. They'll climb up through and they could come from anywhere, and you don't know. They're tougher and they're beasts. But yeah, you're told that a number of the ferals have arrived at the power station and have gathered there. As to whether it's like the hum of the station or something around it, you don't know. I arrive at the power station, and I'm told once again that there's a box to switch on in one of the buildings. And I take a look, and my jaw hits the floor. Not just ferals, there must be 200, 300 zombies, all inside the power station.
I remember that. Yeah, I've done this bit.
Yeah. So I stood there, and it seemed insurmountable. I lured some out, probably about, I don't know, 50 odd, maybe more. And I considered I cleared a pocket out enough to have a look into the first building. As I entered this thing the size of a shed, there were 2 or 3 inside. I twatted into them, turned, and fucking tons were heading towards the room from the outside. Blind panic set in. I pushed and fought and dodged and just made it outside again, up onto a roof, and I had no idea how I was going to get through the rest of it. Dead excited, but I used to be a really big Resident Evil fan, and this was pushing like classic Resi 2 buttons with me.
Yeah.
So that was the other night. I had a day off work today and back onto it and back to the power station. And there were quirks. I've been messing about trying to twat the zombies, lure them to a little raised ledge near this building where I could kind of hit them, but they couldn't get near me. Popped a few heads, but realised that the little shack around the corner was disappointingly a bit of a monster closet. So just on from that was a puddle of oil, which when stabbed with the knife I'd equipped with a Bunsen burner...
What?
Yep. It went
That's
all...
how knives work.
That's how knives work. Yeah, nothing says cutlery quite like whipping it out and hearing
It's like one of those things, those things you see on Dragon's Den. That's like, here's an instant toast making machine. You heat the bread as you cut it. Oh, it's good to go. And if you buy the attachment, it adds butter as you finished.
So yeah, there's a puddle of oil on the floor, and when stabbed with the knife, it kind of it went like
fire longsword +1.
And when I then sort of moved back from it, and the zombies came towards me, they all walked through the puddle and set on fire. So I'd lured a few towards it, and I got this new ability to make flammable liquid. So I lobbed a bit of encouragement, and it became almost a bit of a game of tag, trying to bring another bunch of zombies on by lobbing one, and then as they came towards the fire, they'd set on fire, and then I'd try and lob another one at somebody that was not currently on fire and see if the flames would sort of tag them as well. But I was still no closer to the solution, despite all the masses of dead bodies and piles of goodies that were just spammed all over the shop. I ventured into the level. I used my ability to vault over the showers of the amassed, but I still found myself cornered by huge electric generators and fences. Panicked a bit, ran back to where I was, caught my breath, formulated a plan. I'd seen another shack. I also realised that I could climb onto the individual generators and jump across them if I wanted to. Noticed that one zombie, like way over yonder, was strangely aflame. so I locked into another game of alcohol tag and just burned masses of them again. Found the shack, went inside. The electric generator was there, but I couldn't use it until night time. So I waited for night, not sure if I was going to get an encroaching horde climbing the fences, if I'd have the nighttime Uber zombies flooding in, but none of that. I flicked the switch and the generators went on, and the undead kind of went frazzle-a-zazzle-a-zazz.
One more?
Frazzle-a-zazzle-a-zazz.
Good, nice.
Thanks. At this point, I decided that nothing should be left alive, so I made my way around the rest of the installation, drew out the stragglers, and made sure I kicked them into the torrents of electricity before delightedly watching as they sort of lecky danced into the afterlife. Give it a chance. Just glue onto the stuff that's amazing and see where it takes you. And the game doesn't forget that it's a game either. Be it the zombie Mario level that's hidden in one of the pipes on the rooftops, or the Excalibur that's hidden off an island that you have to sort of try and remove about 100 times before it comes out, or the stuff like one quest for a chap who asks you to get a gun, and his son is sword fighting with a stick in the background. Complete it, and the next time you see him, the boy has the Master Sword from Zelda. Yeah, so
can they do that? They're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think they can.
Ooh,
so I'm glad I'm back on it. It's fun, and it's again after Fallout 4 wasn't punching buttons for me. This one is. Plus some of the ridiculous stuff I'm getting with the weapon upgrades now. With the blueprints are great. Toxic stuff, and I'd spent about $8,000 on an axe. It's just amazing. I'm now, if somebody's running towards me, I'm not really sort of panicking and then trying to like nip him with little stabs every now and again. It's like your head's going off. If you try and get up, your leg's going off. Might just cut your leg off anyway. It's great, and the more powerful I become, the more fun it becomes. There is that wrestling move as well that if people don't know, you can run, and if you jump in midair and press attack, you will essentially flatten out your body midair. What's the wrestling move called?
It is a drop kick.
A drop kick. You will essentially drop kick the baddies, and there are spikes all over the game, which you can impale them on. And there was one indeed where there was a. This is one of the things that led me back to it. I started relaxing into the game, and there was a zombie that was on fire, and in the middle of this road there was a small collection of spikes, and I kicked it into the spikes, and I got a trophy called barbecue.
What? So I remember playing that with you on the co-op time we did, and I remember like spending, because we unlocked it as we were playing, and I think we spent like 10 minutes just with like a couple of them. With some spikes, like, can I drop kick it into the spikes? Yes, right. Can I jump it off the roof and do that? Yes.
And
yes,
it makes such a satisfying noise when you do it as well. It's a proper like shing squish. But we have to go back onto this. Thanks. We have to go back onto this because I know the fun that we had the first time, and we didn't go and do it again. And I think there's more I can show you in the game now.
Well, that's my game I wanted to play more of, but didn't this year. Like,
cool.
That's the one.
Let's do this.
I've got it written down here as well. One of the 9 words I've written was that. No, I've written more than that this time. Yeah,
it's a very
we've
game.
Covered it. We've covered it a lot, haven't we? Really, because since after I played with you, I just put it down because there was so much going on at that point. I just couldn't give it the time. You know what I mean? I want to give it the time, and I don't think I'm going to do that until Witch is out of the way.
In that pocket that we played it, we had such a good time with it, and
I don't feel like we accomplished anything, but it was a fun hour.
Exactly, we accomplished like squishing zombies and then hearing me completely embarrass myself when I fell through the skylight of a bus.
It was glorious.
And realised it was a great gaming moment. But that's what they're about. And even that power station stuff was just corking. I love that. So yeah,
Dying Light,
mate. Yeah. Well, to sort of tag on to what you just said, then a game I wanted to spend more time with. I will tickle him first with a brief sort of nod to Transformers Devastation, which I picked up for about £9 the other week. It looks really lovely. It plays beautifully. It sounds gorgeous. I've only touched on it for an hour, but it's nice. But the game I want to spend more time with is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, okay.
I really, really loved the stuff that I played, and the episode that we did with the tall boy from Boston was one of my favourites of last year. I need to get back to that because I really,
your
really enjoyed
dirty, dirty secret hoarding.
Is this on? Yes. My rug pull indeed, sir. Ooh. Is this on your list?
It is on my list. It's on my list at number 2.
Okay, talk about it.
Number 2. Obviously, anyone that knows who I am knows that I like Metal Gear. Literally, my house is covered in Metal Gear items. I got a swathe of Metal Gear things for Christmas. I have Metal Gear pins on my coat. I have Metal Gear key rings on my keys. I have Metal Gear books. I have Metal Gear hats. I have a Metal Gear scarf. I have Metal Gear gloves. I have a Metal Gear Snake statue. I like Metal Gear. I like Metal Gear. I like Metal Gear.
It comes across.
Yeah. So I was double chuffed when I think it was the Game Collection got it out to me a week before it came out.
No, it was Simply Games. Because
it was one of the two, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of them did. Anyway, whoever it was great. Well done, you.
Simply Games.
So I had it a week early, which was great because I could just get moving before the internet decided to wank all the secrets over the internet, which they ended up doing within a week. Thanks, internet. You suck.
Internet.
See, now Josh Garrity from Kane and Rinse said something on Twitter, and I kind of agree with him that it's at both times it's the best Metal Gear game and it's the worst Metal Gear game at the same time. And I agree with him in a weird, like in an awkward way, and I'll tell you for why. So Metal Gear 5, the moment-to-moment gameplay of just running around and just doing the stealth, or not doing the stealth if you don't feel like it, or running around picking up plants, or playing with your dog, or running around Mother Base saying hello to everybody. Like, the minute-to-minute gameplay is, I would say, among the best the series has been. Like, it is accessible, it works. If shit goes to pot, you haven't just completely fucked it. You can salvage anything. Like, if the whole mission goes to hell, you can still call in support, call in reinforcements, and keep playing. There aren't many, if any, like, fail state scenarios in the game. Which is something that are in the old games, and they work fine within that. You know, that's what they're there for. But, like, as far as just pure gameplay goes, like, it's among the best there's been. Like, you can just bollock about for hours, just doing nothing in particular, but having a great time. Like, I was given the controller to Laura, and she was just running around Mother Base and running around in the free roam doing side ops and just having a really good time with it. And she's never played a Metal Gear before. She hates them.
I was enjoying the side ops.
Yeah, Laura's quote is, she is as stealthy as a hippo. And that's what she always used to say about Metal Gear, Healthy the Hippo, which is why it's funny that I think in Metal Gear 2, that is one of the code names you can get. So you can legitimately be as stealthy as a hippo. I enjoyed that. But like I say, so it got a lot of flack. And we're not going to talk about Quiet because I don't care about that. I don't care. It got a lot of flack for not having as much Metal Gear weird story in it as other games do. And like, I disagree with that. It is full of Metal Gear weird. It's among some of the most Metal Gear weird that there is, you know. But it's so much spread out now. I mean, the game is 100 hours. Like, it took me to finish it. 100 hours. And that was doing not everything. That was just doing enough so I could feel that I was, doing a good job. To put that in context, I did a run of all of the Metal Gear, the core games. 1, 2, 3, Portable Ops, Peace Walker. Well, I watched the gameplay movies of those, but and Metal Gear 4 before playing 5. The entire run of the series took less time, and this was watching all the cutscenes, mind, less time than it took me to beat Metal Gear 5. Which is bizarre. Which is bizarre, because there is still, ages worth of cutscenes and backstory and dialogue in 5. It's all there. It's just spread so much further apart now. You don't get that sort of concentrated drip feed of it in. Like, you just don't. So when it does hit, you get half an hour of weirdness, and then you just go back to open world fun times. And that kind of sets it apart from other Metal Gears, which are more like, playing a film almost, a bit of an over the top weird film, but a film. You're playing a film. And I think this is the first time that it's really embraced any kind of open world, properly, and succeeds like hell. Like, the open world's incredible. Like, just running around Afghanistan, in the dust storms, sort of noticing patrols and sort of looking at the soldiers, going, "Oh, he's good at R&D. I think I'm gonna steal him. The other guy's not very good though, so I'm gonna shoot that guy. I'm gonna trank the other guy, and I'm gonna get up close. And I'm gonna fault on him. And oh no, there was another guy. It's all gone to hell. Oh no, they called an alarm. There's a helicopter. Shit." Like, it has such potential to get so out of hand so quickly, but you can deal with it. Like, you can totally deal with it. But the thing about Metal Gear, again, it's the plot. Okay, so people didn't like the story. They didn't like the ending. Those people, fine. Okay, you didn't like the ending. That's fine. But I went on the Dark Insight show after I finished it to do a Metal Gear special, which we went on again for about 3 hours going through the game. And by the time I'd finished, by the time I talked about what happened and what was actually happening in the game and who was behind what, I gained such an appreciation for what they did with Metal Gear 5. I didn't expect them to be able to legitimately canonize the fact that, like, Metal Gear 1 and 2 have things that can't possibly happen in them. And it has found a way to make that happen and not seem super dumb. Like, you believe it. Like, and they've linked it all together. And I think this is the one where you finally see the turn where the character of Big Boss stops being the hero, the hero who saved the world, and becomes the villain, who wants to, go out for himself and just work for himself and for his mercenaries. Like, this finally, it was promised in Portable Ops, it was promised in Peace Walker. This is the missing link. Like, this is the one that brings it all back round full circle. I don't think you get as much of a payoff as you do in Metal Gear 4, because Metal Gear 4 has an hour-long ending. It is a long ending, and it ties off, like, everything. Like, everything gets tied off. Metal Gear 5 doesn't have that, but I don't think it ever could have had that. Because to have a big, grand, capping all off ending is kind of silly when it's a prequel, because it does need to lead in. And it does. It does an admirable job of that. And just like the themes of the plot, and without kind of going in too much, because we are hitting spoiler town if we're not careful. Like, the overall theme of it, it links so well into itself, and it might not be immediately apparent, but when you analyse it and you think back, hang on, wait, I know what that means now. Oh my god, I get it. I get it. Oh my god, I get it. And it's incredible. That moment that it hit me during that podcast, about the 2-hour mark, 2.5 hour mark. I just suddenly had this weird revelation in my own head that, oh my god, this story actually is brilliant, but no one's worked it out yet. And it staggered me that a game could do that, to me, and make me sort of have that moment of, that I haven't had since a Souls game, really. I mean... Since a Souls, I haven't had that moment of revelation that I've had since. And, like, I mean, I'm not going to go back to it for a while. I've played 100 hours of it. I need a break. I don't think I could play another 100 hours of it straight afterwards. But maybe in a couple of years, I'll go back and play that again. It's got some of the best movies. It's got my favourite single mission of any video game that I've played all year, which is the Mission 6, the Honeybee mission, where you're tasked with finding... an informant who knows where this kind of missile launcher is and retrieving it. So you first got to make your way over to where the informant's being kept, and you see that he's being transported across a bridge and interrogated, and you've got to get across the bridge quietly and rescue him without him dying, which I fucked up royally and got him super killed. Mission didn't end. You just have to pick up the pieces and move on from there. So you have to find your way to a separate base where you know it's being held, and if you'd have rescued the informant, he would have told you where it was. I didn't. I had to manually search the place without being seen. A good half an hour this took me, of not being seen, of tranking guys and taking them out one by one and being stealthy. And then at the end, when it all just like falls to bits, when Philanthropist shows up and picks you up upside down, and the skulls turn up, and oh god, oh god, oh god, everything's on fire, oh Jesus, oh god, run! Like, it was an hour and a half of butt clinch, and I got in, I jumped on the helicopter, and I just leaned back, and I leaned back in my chair, like, that was the best mission I've played in fucking years. Like, ruined. I don't think anything else in the game hit that level again. Like, they did. Like, there were great levels in there, don't get me wrong, but that was the standout mission for me that really said, yeah, this is our game. This is what you can do in this game. This is what can happen. And the fact it did go a bit wrong cemented it as, yeah, that was brilliant, you know, and loved it. And I've talked too much about it. You go.
Well, all the stuff that I really said on it was back on that podcast that we did, but I drifted away into other stuff. But I really enjoyed the time I spent with it, and if anything, kind of the lack of crouching in the Division led me to be curious again about Metal Gear, even though I am picking up the Division. So
yeah.
Oh,
before we forget, fucking soundtrack of the goddamn year. Oh my god!
It was a decent old boy, wasn't it?
Amazing stuff on that, and like even the licensed songs as well, from like the ones from the trailers and that, have all been like universally excellent, and are all included on the soundtrack you can pick up. Some
interesting like decisions, like the mid-year version of The Man Who Sold the World and stuff, and I liked it.
Well, I mean that does feed into the secret underlying message of Metal Gear 5, which is David Bowie is cool.
This is true.
Yeah. So much of it feeds back in, but like just like every time you're walking through and you hear a tape, like, is that Snake Eater? That's fucking Snake Eater. Where is? Stop everything! I need to get that tape. Where's that tape? It's in the middle of that guarded room. I don't care. I'm throwing in a grenade. I'm getting that. Like, I fucked up missions to get tapes. This is what's important to me. Having a selection of music that my helicopter can play when it comes to pick me up. I think it was Maneater for a good long time, and then I switched it out for Gloria, I think.
Yeah, I remember playing. There was some sort of AOR song that, like, quite early on, that was so not right for the game, it became right for the game. And when I was sort of taking out sort of seemingly a million blokes in this building, and I was just hearing these creamy AOR harmonies, it just seemed like wrong but right.
Yeah, I've spent many an evening crouching around a base to Spandau Ballet. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, in your home life.
Yeah, that's just home. That's not the video game. That's
just home. Yeah.
But yeah, that Metal Gear 5 was my number 2 from 2015. My number 2.
Okay, I am going to give a noticeable mention at this point
to
Monster Hunter 4.
Oh yeah, you play Monster Hunter, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I've forgotten. I legit forgotten.
It's still Monster Hunter. It looks lovely. It's still Monster Hunter. It's quicker than its predecessor, but I really didn't like the added verticality. The new monsters are fabulous, but I preferred Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. There's no way it's not a great game. It is a great game, but I preferred its predecessor. Plus, I want this game on my telly. I just do. And in that regard, I was looking forward to Tauken and Kiwami as well, but just didn't play it.
Do you think you need a group for a game like that? Like, do you think you need to be playing together with other people? Is the community there with Tauken as it is with Monster Hunter? Because Monster Hunter is the biggest thing in the monster hunting genre.
Don't know. I mean, Gadget Girl Kylie's done a lot of Tauken and stuff, and it always does really well for her and her viewers and stuff. And I played some more Monster Hunter 3 with her the other week, which was, so we went back to that, and I got my arse handed to me.
I watched a little bit of it. You ate total shit. It was great.
Yeah, I really did. But yeah, it's clearly Monster Hunter. It's more accessible than it's ever been. Lots of people found their way into the game that previously found it unassailable, but I don't know. I think Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate's, for me, a better game.
Ooh.
But there you go.
There you go, innit?
Yeah. Let me have a look down my list. The only other ones that I've got here are game that I wanted to buy but didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was that game?
That game was Affordable Space Adventures.
Oh shit! You not got that yet?
No, it was on sale the other week. But I just didn't have time to play it at this point, so I'll have to wait for the next time it happens. Sean Bell has one of his games of the year. I think he co-opted it with Chris Span, and they loved it. You raved about it at Gamescom the other year, and I've not forgotten that. I have badges, damn it.
Yeah.
I have Affordable Space Adventures badges from my birthday from you. I remain very, very curious, but I don't know. It's another one of those where I need that kind of... pocket, I guess.
And if I had a Wii U, I'd be on that. Because I love my secret favourite genre of thing is rubbish spaceships.
Yeah, but I think that in your situation will probably be similar to that which Sean Bell and Chris Span had, that you'd both be playing it together, and I think it's because I think it's up to, is it about three people can kind of play at once,
something like that.
So, yeah. It looks a good one to have people over for couch co-op on. But yeah, it's still a game I'm curious about, and I still really want to play. But the only other one I've got other than the top slot is Misfire.
Okay, I'll tell you what mine is first then.
Okay.
I think I know what yours is going to be, so I'm going to hold that. I've got 3. Which I'll be very quick about then. First disappointment, staying in the stealth genre.
You've got 3 disappointments.
3 disappointments this year.
Because I can think of a second disappointment, so I'll add that to the list as well.
Okay, I've got 3 disappointments. I've got 3 disappointments and 2 more games that I like to talk about, and then I've got everything done. Disappointment number 1, Styx, Master of Shadows. Right.
Oh, that's just come on Xbox One.
It was on
Games
Plus a while ago, and it's on Games with Gold now. Yeah. Basically, it's a stealth game where you are a goblin man creeping around a castle, kind of doing goblin man stealing stealthy stuff. Right. So this game looked exactly like my shit.
It sounds like your jam.
It looked
your
exactly
marvelous
right.
marmalade.
I like the stealth. I like goblin people.
I like to move it.
Yeah, behave. The main character looked weird and grumpy and like an orc, like Shadow of Mordor. There we go. Maybe we've got...
it does look a bit like that. Yeah.
Greenman. But I played it and it's just so hard. It fails where Metal Gear succeeds, and I don't think I did it any favours by playing it around Metal Gear 5, because the stealth, when the stealth fails, you just fail. You fail state, you start again at the start of the level, and you've got to do the same thing over and over and over, and the mechanics, they're just not good enough. You don't snap as well to cover as you should. Guards can see you from too far away. Oftentimes you'll be walking around and you just get seen. Oh fuck, I've been seen. Oh crap, and you can't fight your way out of more than one guy at a time. It's just and the tools you've got to get past things, you're supposed to kind of distract people and run around behind them, doesn't work. Because you've got to control the distraction. You kind of make a clone of yourself, and you have to run the clone over one side, and then you run the other way. But by the time you've run the clone over there, the bad guy's gone over there and stabbed him and turned around and seen you going the other way. It's
So in theory, it all sounds pretty good. But
it sounds great, but I only got an hour into it. I just couldn't do it. It was making me angry.
You were looking forward to this as well.
I was so looking forward to this. I'm kind of glad I got it on Plus now, because I think I would have been angry if I'd have paid for it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I got furious with it, and I wanted it to be good. It really did. So yeah, Styx. That's short but sweet, because I only played a bit of it. Didn't like it. What's your first one?
I will go for Halo 5. Because I'm a big Halo nerd, and I'd been going back through the Master Chief Collection again, and had a new appreciation for Halo 4, which I enjoyed at the time, but enjoyed more in the aftermath. I played Halo ODST had come this year to the Master Chief Collection, ODST? And I love that to pieces.
Well documented.
Yeah, I fell in love with that sort of all over again, and did the Kane and Rinse on it, which was awesome. And yeah, in the run up to Halo 5, they got a series that was a little like Serial. It was a sort of radio podcast, I guess, with somebody that was looking into the government cover-ups and with regards to the Master Chief, and with the Master Chief going rogue, that they were trying to blame him for various sort of murders and things, and even as the journalist went further down the rabbit hole, he was finding the untruths that the government had put out about sort of his upbringing, and rather than it being, I think if I remember rightly, it was something like he was a standout sports star from a school that was taken on that did this marvelous thing for the community and was turned into this hero. Where the actual truth was that the government identified all these kids that they thought that they could take on, basically replaced them with their own clones, and took the kids away, pumped them full of drugs, snapped their bones, stretched them, put them through military training camps, and it was an absolute atrocity. And there was some really nice stuff on this podcast, like tales of one of the kids going AWOL and finding himself going back to his own planet, and going home and finding himself there. Or these clones that they were replaced with were designed to die within a certain point, and some of them didn't. And yeah, it was just they really dug into the lore, and it was fantastic. They did 2 seasons of it. They got some fantastic voice actors in there, and I was thinking, fucking hell, they're really going for this. And the game looked nice. It played really well. But the story was just a footnote. It was a bullet point. And oftentimes, like the big boss battle that was in there, that it made you repeat like a number of times with extra versions of the boss. Like, oh, you fought it once and it was annoying. Now fight 2 of them. Ooh. Hey, what about 3 of them later? And that was shit. And I'm curious to see where they go with it, but it was really poorly written.
Yeah. See, that's weird, because for me, Halo 5, like, it's not lit the world on fire the same way Halo's supposed to. Like, I expect to see it everywhere, and I haven't.
Well, this is the interesting thing, that Bungie, when they were doing Destiny, wanted to do something beyond a one and done, and that's the reason that they made the change that they did. For better or for worse, we don't know. Before the game originally came out, but the guy that wrote Halo 4 left 343 Industries to go to BioWare to work on Mass Effect 4 or Mass Effect Andromeda or whatever it's called, and he's just left BioWare to become the writer on Destiny 2.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, it was just there was a really good cane and rinse where they were talking about Halo 4 and as to whether a game should have so much that was put into the books, and the outside lore was kept away from the game, but Halo 4 in itself had a lot of references to that, and as to whether that was a good or a bad thing. And Halo 5 is just it's just a shell compared to what was previously there. And there's the likes of myself and Carl Moon and Tony from Cane and Rinse is a really big lore nerd as well. And that after they really poured so much into that podcast that led up to it, to have the shell of what was there, and just some really phoned in levels. Really truly phoned in levels, like the worst of Halo, where it's just like, oh, you're going through chrome corridors. That I just thought it was a real shame, and I traded it really quickly, and if I want to play it again a bit further down the line, it's already dropped to about 18 quid second hand, so I can always dive in. And like I say, it was a fun game to play. Don't get me wrong, but when it really dropped off, it really dropped off. It had the worst of Halo in there amongst some fun levels as well. So
depressing.
Entertained me, I guess, but overall, massive disappointment.
Shame.
Yeah, and when you're into a series and you get to
have it far at the end like that.
The 5th installment but we'll see.
Moving on then. Another one I didn't like, which I really should have liked, Titan Souls.
Yeah, okay.
Which is like a top-down Shadow of the Colossus style game. You are a kid with an arrow, you have a bow and a single arrow, and you have to kill big monsters with your single arrow. This looks like it should have been a thing that I really, really liked, and I just could not get on with it. Like, I found the bosses to be, like, they weren't, like, too hard, because there's obviously a pattern to each one, and each one was different, and I like that they are different, but, like, I didn't like the art style. Like, it's a bit too kind of, like, this is going to sound really, really reductive, and I don't mean this, but it looked really indie game, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like, hey, look how retro this looks, and it was just the same texture repeated across a massive empty field, and I'm like, don't like that at all. I had the same problem with Fez's graphics for the same things, like, hey, look how indie I am, woo! But I like pixel graphics, you know, I do like that, I just didn't like them on this. It just fell a bit flat. Like, I beat a couple of the bosses, but I just didn't really care. Like, I was shooting my arrow and I was getting stomped on and I was having to run all the way back, and I was shooting my arrow and I got stomped on again and I had to run all the way back, and this was the next half an hour running all the way back and getting stomped on, and you don't have to run very far, but it's an annoyance, you know. You only really got shoot and roll are your only really things you can do. And when some of the bosses, like, appear and just, like, first thing they do is pummel you. And not in a Dark Souls way, it's a one-hit kill, so, like, any hit you take, you're dead. So you've got to do it. You've got to do it perfect or don't do it. I just couldn't get on with it. Like, I just got angry while I was playing it. I was like, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm just getting annoyed. And I just wanted it to be, like, I don't think anything's going to reach Shadow of the Colossus for that idea. Like, that is the pinnacle of that idea, I think. Of, you know, here's 16 brilliant bosses, go. But, I don't know, it just felt... It felt too hard. Like, you get that you want to feel, you know, cool when you do it, but it just felt too much. Like, do it perfectly or don't do it. And, like, those bosses were hard, man. Like, working out their patterns, you have to get so far, and they change up what they do, and you get flattened again. You're like, oh, great. Now I've got to learn a whole new set of patterns with one hit to learn them. By the time I get there again, I'll have forgotten what I'm doing, I'll get flattened again. And it just extends the length of the game in a way that I find unfair. And it's disappointing because I wanted it to be good. You know, when we had Andy on, he was telling us he'd been playing it and was liking it, and it sounded like it was my thing, and just completely farted out the end of a cannon for me. Just
okay,
yeah, disappointing. Well, what else did you grumble on?
Seeing as you've got one more than me, I
got
will
one.
chuck in. I will chuck into the mix here. That because Misfire is really sort of something that you expected to like and didn't for whatever reason.
Oh, I think I know what's coming.
Well, I'll have to. Since you had one more than me, I'll have to put Shovel Knight in here because I look forward to it. I was going to buy it on Wii U, and then there was that really bizarre like delay for the EU version, the EU Wii U version.
EU Wii U.
Yeah. And I just found it joyless with the most annoying music.
My god!
It was like waterboarding my ears. It was about 30 seconds long, and I grew up on a Commodore 64, so that NES chip wank. Don't even put it near me. I really wanted to love it. I thought it was going to be my thing, but I thought Rogue Legacy was going to be my thing as well. I really didn't click with that either.
Mate, I've bitten a hole in my knuckle right now. I'm biting my hand so hard.
Oh my god! I've got another one.
Go on.
Binding of Isaac.
Why? Okay,
played for an hour. Never went back.
We worked this out on the internet the other day. It's the category of games that you don't like is things that I like. Yeah, good podcast. This is going to be.
I love you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's mad because like I've been getting back into Shovel Knight. Have you seen what the Wii U's got? If you get the Shovel Knight amiibo, you can use that as a co-op 2-player, and you can set it to be like a custom knight, so you can change it to all different colours, and you can give it all different abilities, and it unlocks way faster. I've been watching the Game Grumps playing it co-op, and like player 2 gets so much shit like really, really fast. Like it looks like they've made it to be fun.
Did you listen to that 8-4 play with Yacht Club on it?
No.
It's really good, and I like them as people. And I thought it was really cool that they had the individual bits for each version, like the PS4 had the bloke from God of War.
Kratos. Oh yeah, that Kratos fight's no joke. That's hard, man. That's fun.
Xbox One has Battletoads stuff in there, and I just mentioned Xbox One, and it's come on.
No, you know what? I was
done it again
last night. I wonder if I can make you say Xbox One and make you turn it on. I was literally thinking that exact thing on the way home last night.
Wasn't it on that podcast that we did with Andy? Where it was just like, "Is your Xbox just turned on?"
Yeah,
yeah, it has. Yeah. So the power of Connect.
Right, it makes me. It makes me sad that these don't click with you because they're just Because you say they're joyless. They're literally Shovel Knight is nothing but a bucket of joy.
Every now and again, I'll put it back
Smarties.
on.
Are you allergic to Smarties?
No.
Oh, because that's what it is. It's a big bucket of Smarties.
No, I tell you what it is to you. It's a big cup of tea.
Oh, yeah, it's my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of Joe. There we go, sorted. But I have seen.
There's a new segment for the show. It is my cup of tea. Stuff I like that you don't.
I think that it's been interesting to see the amount of people who've gone, I haven't got a Wii U or a 3DS, but I'm buying that amiibo.
Oh, and it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. Seriously, listen to that 8-4 play because it's really good because they had a range of, I think they were saying that the amiibo, they'd already got a range of figures that were going to come out, and I think it sort of ties into that. But yeah, the extra stuff it adds to the Wii U version is very good. And also,
I'd buy Shovel Knight toys in a fucking heartbeat. They all look so good.
But also, it's probably tempting people who have other versions to buy that Wii U version.
Oh hell yeah! I think it's,
that's
to my
really
knowledge,
cool stuff.
It's the only one with co-op.
Yeah,
to my knowledge, and that's bad. That's like bizarre to me. Like, why wouldn't you have it on both?
You know, in the distant future, I can see you picking up like a second-hand Wii U or it coming into one of your stores, and you getting like Shovel Knight and Affordable Space Adventures, or getting all of these sort of old
Weird
games,
Wii U games, yeah.
And really immersing yourself in them. I can see you playing like an Earthbound to pieces.
Yeah. Thing is, right, if
really
I do
losing
that,
yourself in these Zeldas.
I'm not going to be able to play Shovel Knight in co-op with Laura because I say we've been watching the Game Grumps play of it with the two of them, and so when you die, you can essentially spawn back in, but you take half the health of the other guy. So you can spawn back in. Yeah, you can spawn in. But when you come back in, you kind of do the little kind of raising your shovel, kind of like a... But the guy does it and goes, hello, every time he comes back in. And it's infectious because he dies so much.
I will endeavour to give that another chance for the sake of our friendship.
Please love it. I really want you to love it. It's so good. It's so... Anyway, this isn't the me plead at you section of the game. This is the things you didn't like section.
What's your number one misfire? My
last one is one we've mentioned already. Grow Home.
Yeah.
Grow Home, Go Home. I voted for this in Vote for Play. I voted for this goddamn thing. Right? I thought this was going to be my shit. Like running around, jumpy, climby, make a planty, growy, woohoo. Looked fun. It looked like the kind of thing that I enjoy. It looked like the weird, goofy sort of, Tokyo Jungle sort of weird, sort of downloadable game that I really get on with. And after 20 minutes of running around with it, I was so angry at it.
With the screen tearing on your brand new console.
Honestly, the frame rate plummeted to 28. No, it's tore to fuck. Like, and let's not be Digital Foundry here. That screen tearing was bad, like really bad, like noticeable bad. I just thought it controlled like wank. It was a floaty, wobbly jelly man. And, like, for all the shit people give Little Big Planet, like, whoa. If you want a floaty, wobbly jelly man, you play Grow Home. Like, I fell to my, like, not even death. I fell to the bottom and had to climb back up this goddamn stupid plant so many times because the jumping is so bad. It's so bad. I can't understand, like, how it got so many good reviews and how much critical praise the damn thing, received because I found it hateful. I was getting angry, and I know you had the same reaction.
And we were both looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it's like, this is awful. Why? Why are you bad, video game? And I keep tempting myself to download it and try it again, but I look at it and go, no, I remember now. No, I'm not doing that. Nah. So yeah, Grow Home, Go Home.
A little bit of dead air.
I know. What are you dead airing for?
My biggest misfire of the year.
Oh, I know what's coming.
game of the year for everyone.
Just do it. Just say it.
It's Bloodborne.
Yeah.
This isn't even a kind of. Oh, I was looking forward to this. I played it and I hated it. I so pleadingly want to love it, but each time I try to invest in it, it just doesn't click with me. It doesn't grab me. The combat, which is a highlight to most people, feels spongy to me. It feels like I'm not connecting with stuff. It feels like I'm passing through it. It honestly, it makes me really sad and really frustrated, and not the game, but the having connected with Demons and Dark and Scholar and stuff, and loving Miyazaki stuff and really being up for this, that it just it just doesn't quite sit in my head. The compulsion's not there, and it may purely be that the game isn't for me, that there's a mood or a time or something waiting for me further down the line, like that Fallout 3 moment. Yeah, that's the perfect fit for the two of us. But at this point,
we initially tried to play it co-op because you sort of hung back a bit because you were playing with Scholar when it came out, weren't you? And we hung back a bit and we jumped in co-op, and I thought that was what was killing it. Like, I thought maybe the fact that we were running together, you weren't getting the whole experience that you should have been. Like, I thought that was it, but clearly that was wrong.
You see, this is part of it. I think that, and I like that we did this. That the podcast went the way that it did. That we kind of split in twine a little bit. That you were sort of uber on Bloodborne. Yeah, but it wasn't even a conscious thing, because I'd bought Scholar on Xbox One and on PS4.
Because your name is CJ.
Yeah, well, and on the one hand, I wanted to not just for like the collection, because it was just like standard editions, but I wanted to kind of see for the people on the podcast as to whether the Xbox One version like held up, if it was any different from the PS4.
Did the frame rate plummet at all?
According to Digital Foundry, yes.
Oh.
But, I didn't really notice it.
Almost unplayable 27 frames a second.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think, according to the Big DF, that it stood up to the PS4 version. But
sorry, Big DF has killed me.
But I didn't notice much. Also, there was the curiosity that as to whether the popularity and the reviews of Bloodborne were going to mean that lots of people on the Xbox One were kind of picking it up as like their game, as there might be more people playing it on Xbox One than PS4, which was the case initially. I think
so.
At least for that early bit. But so yeah, and the elephant in the room is Scholar, and that became an incredibly important, emotional and personal game to me that probably meshed in a little bit with personal circumstances that I was going in from early on in that year, and things that I was struggling with, and it's a blessing when a game or a piece of art or a piece of music or anything embraces like that. And I still haven't quite got my head around just how much Scholar of the First Sin bewitches me. And it's no surprise really that's number one. I think that
it's always coming, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, it wasn't. Well, I suppose for the number one towards the end of the year.
You haven't talked to you all year. Trust me, it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were meaning like, when it was coming out that it was going to happen, but it was just a game that I fell into constantly last year. I mean, even podcastually, cough, Kane and Rinse 190, cough. But yeah, I mean, last year in general, sort of, rather than having a particularly wide spread of games that have occupied me over that year. It's been a case of being utterly consumed by this one. And
this
going
was your
through
problem at one point, wasn't it? Like, what's your top 5? I got 1.
Yeah, and not just sort of going through it, but going into NG Plus, but looking at like I'm sitting at 99% complete at the minute, and I have stuff to do that I had to look up to see, like which pyromancies do I need and which spells, and I think that I may even have to start a brand new run to get all the hexes to take on.
Wow.
The what's the Dark Diver boss? The one that you can't summon for.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Dark Lurker?
Dark Lurker, yeah.
The angel thing.
Because I've
never beaten.
I could possibly respec for it, I guess, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it on NG Plus, and I'm certainly not talented enough to take it on solo when a lot of the bosses, particularly like DLC wise, I summoned for, and I love the changes. I knew that when I was listening to Bonfireside Chat and they isolated the Scholar when he became a character in the updates for the previous versions of the game before Scholar of the First Sin came out. I fell in love with the dialogue. There was the piece that Neil Loki shared about his stepdad and about Alzheimer's that left me like falling into the game even more. Little things about how it feels to be amidst depression and the Shrine of Amana. Like this constant sort of ticking through, and even last week with getting the Dark Souls 2 design works and noticing intricacies in the art and the choices that are made in the commentary and stuff. It's continual, and in many ways that misfire with Bloodborne is just simply because I've been consumed with the other game, and if it was just Bloodborne there alone, I'd probably have pushed myself through it and into it to the point where I embraced it and it embraced me in the same way that the other games did. It's just...
Do you think maybe it's because Bloodborne's a bit more out there now, and the flip turn in the middle is common knowledge now, and it's like it's different when you play it and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like
it's not even that. It does seem to belong to everybody. I love the fact that there are people that wouldn't look twice at a Souls game that found themselves in Bloodborne, because often they're the people that even though it's been said that you can't move back from Bloodborne through the Souls games, they have moved back through Bloodborne through the Souls games, and are often the most complimentary about Scholar of the First Sin. Whereas I still hear it's not Miyazaki thing, and I just think it's a shame that there's a game there that I think that people may enjoy. That they're not going towards. And also, even with Dark Souls 3 coming out and it being Miyazaki and Tanimura working on that together, that they may well be missing out on a little bit of the lore or the quirks, or maybe it's just going to pick up on stuff that they played through when they were disappointed with the first run of Dark Souls 2. But
people on the internet are stupid though, so...
No, I mean, no. It's opinion. It's opinions, man. It's opinions. I mean, I don't mind that. There's lots of people that I fucking love that fell into this. We got John Denton had it as his game of the year. People found their way into this that wouldn't have gone as a Souls game or have bounced off Souls games. And I fucking love that. And people have found their way into this. Like, you've got Rich Stanton, who's obsessing about this game and the lore and the quirks, and that in ways that I probably am about Scholar. And whichever way you find your way into a game, that's great. I've no doubt that somewhere down the line, Bloodborne and I are going to have it romantic, sexy style, but I don't know.
You're going to do it, and you're going to keep it secret, and you're going to reveal it on a show, and it's going to blow me mind.
Yeah, well, I'll get a few guests on to do it, but I will say sort of I'll add this in a little while, actually, because I presume Blood is is there for you?
Well, moving on from that, my game of the year is fucking Bloodborne.
Yeah,
which is great. I love this dichotomy we've got. I love this back and forward. This is good. This played really nicely.
The thing is, man, I love you to pieces, but we there are certain games that we play together, and there's certain games that we disagree on, but we always have a good natter about them.
We do,
and that in many ways can sometimes lead us back to those games, or you can, if somebody else says that they like something that you don't, you can go, oh yeah, my podcast waifu is a really big fan of that. Or, I
can see your opinion. Wrong, but I can see your opinion.
Bastard. That was all a lie.
I know, right?
Tea drinking wank.
My game of the year is Bloodborne. I'm going to talk about it in much more complimentary terms now for a while, so here we go.
Do so, please.
So, obviously, we got to go to Sony in February or April or March. I can't remember. It was early in the year. It was brilliant. We got invited along to go to the Bloodborne launch event, which was incredible. Like, we were so... I was over the moon to go to that. I didn't think...
That was amazing.
I didn't think we were Hollywood enough for that, and it was nice. It was nice to be invited. It's nice to be thought of.
No, it's an amazing day.
And
all of it. And at the point that intersected with my life, it was, I can't even begin to tell you how much that helped me along.
Totally.
In a big way. Blew the cobwebs out and got me beyond four walls.
Yeah, totally. But aside from the lovely day out in London where we hit 2 different Starbuckses.
We did, and you informed me that a sandwich was really good because of good mayonnaise. They used good mayonnaise. I think you said this numerous times within the conversation. It was good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate a good mayo, and that's just who I am.
But the second of those Starbucks was like a mausoleum. Like, nobody was talking, and it was one person to a table, and there was an astonishingly good-looking man that was really digging into his nose with his finger, like properly picking his nose. Yeah. It's like maybe when you are ridiculously good looking,
you can get away with it.
Can just
the thing is,
get
I bet
away
he looked
with
great when he did it though.
Yeah, he really properly cleaned out his honk.
He was really flipping his hair while he was doing it, and they were taking shots from the side. It
was just bizarre.
The most artfully flicked booger you've ever seen.
Sexy.
Bloodborne. So we got invited along, and part of that we got a copy of the game for promotional purposes, whatever, disclosure, I don't care. I got the game early. I was going to get it anyway, but I got it early. Great, brilliant. And I took it home, and I just, I think I put it in the next night, and I just battered my way through it, and I beat it quite, I wouldn't say quickly, but I beat it quicker than most of the internet managed to beat it, because we had that early access. There was no help.
Can I just state at this point as well that I did shell out £100 for this game as well. I got the chest.
Oh yeah, the magical chest. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I banged through it, I think, faster than a lot of people on the internet. And as such, I needed to talk to people about it, and I couldn't. I think I was finishing it just as the kind of insane part of the internet was finishing it. The kind that take the week off and just do nothing but that 18 hours a day until they've done it.
Yeah, but I took the week off.
I know you did. But I was hitting it around the same point. And as a point, and I say this about the first half of original Dark Souls 2. The first half of that game, and to be fair, basically all of Bloodborne, feel more like they belong to me than any other part of a Souls game. I still love Dark Souls 1 as my favourite, I think. It's hard. It's really hard. And that game was, played to hell. There was a lot of stuff was mined out by the time I got to it, but it was still good. But so first half of Souls 2, when I played that early, and all of Bloodborne pretty much, I was the one forging the path. I was making the mistakes and finding the problems and falling into the stupid traps and all the sort of stuff, and working out oh my god, this game actually, this isn't about werewolves at all. This is about something else entirely. What's going on? My brain hurts. And just doing things wrong and cocking it up and bouncing off a boss over and over and over again until it finally clicks. And the combat, once you've got it, and I know you've bounced off it a bit, but for me, it was meaty for me. I think a combination of the weapon I was using the threaded cane, which was the fancy pokey stick whip. that was great. Like I fitted in really quickly to that, and I used that basically the whole game. I didn't switch weapons once. Like that was my boy. That was my baby.
I will say that I took the speed of the combat from Bloodborne, and I took that into Scholar of the First Sin, and two-handed weapons and double-handed weapons, and didn't use a shield right up until I needed to in the DLC. So for me, kind of the issue wasn't the speed of the combat particularly. It was just the for me the lack of feedback that I got when I hit something.
But see, I didn't get that. I did feel like I was knocking 7 shades of shit out of everything I was hitting. Cool. Maybe it was a combination of the weapons I was using, but I felt like I was cracking these things in the nose with the end of my stick, like really battering teeth out with every shot, and like the visceral attacks really kind of like the impact of them. The same way that a really good like double-handed sword parry. The same way that a really good parry can be in Dark Souls. You know, it's the same thing, but you can just lock it out. And the fact that the game seemed to be built around the parry mechanic with the guns.
Yeah.
And you can play it with a two-handed weapon and not bother with that. But like, I think it is better. Well, I say better. It seems to be the sort of more standard way that you are going to play with a gun in the left and a battering weapon in the right, and you are going to be going for those stuns and those staggers and capitalising, and that's where like the regain comes into force as well. So you know, if you do get a hit, you're encouraged to just get back in there and, you know, don't back down. You know, back in. You know, fire your way in and claw your health back, earn it back, fight it back. I really dug that. Like I really kind of got into the whole, you know, aggression of it, and you were still, you know, dancing around and prancing around behind looking for the backstabs. That's fine, you know, that's cool. That's how these games work. You know, you search for your opening any way you can, but like the speed of it, like it felt so much faster and like quicker. And the fact that equip load didn't matter. I mean, you could put on, you know, whatever items you wanted, whatever armor you wanted, and not have to worry about being, you know, slowing yourself down. You're a fast man, whatever you wear. And let's be fair, the fashion in that game is amazing. Like,
you think?
I'm a man who likes a coat. And there are some coats.
This is what it comes down to.
Swear to God.
You think? You're like, I'm a man that likes a coat.
I like a coat. I don't look at the stats. I look at what looks the nicest. And I think I wore the Gascoigne hat and the Gascoigne coat for ages because they look so fucking cool.
Is that the Karamak outfit?
Yeah, man. Love it.
No. The Karamak man's the one that
he turns up later.
Is in the same place as Gascoigne.
Old Hunter Henrik. Yeah, the Gascoigne's gear I put on for a while, and then there's an item called the Tomb Prospector gear you can buy later with this ridiculous high collar, like proper like turbo 70s high collar, and it just fitted so perfectly on top of the hat. I'm like, that's perfect. I'm never going to take that off, and I wore it for the rest of the game. It was like, yep, that's what I look like now. That's how I look. This is me now. This is my boy. But like I went through it, I think 1.5 times all told. Like not on New Game Plus. I started a fresh game again.
Yeah, because you got the guide, didn't you? And finished the game, and then
got the guide. I didn't buy the guide till I'd finished the game. I didn't want to be tempted to buy it, to look in the guide. I didn't want to be tempted. I wanted to do it fresh.
But the guide was for you, making sure you ticked all the boxes and seeing everything that the game got to offer. And I kind of dig that.
Yeah, and that's what I've been using. Make sure I've picked up all the emotes and all the items and all the spells. I've been doing an arcane build recently, which I hadn't done before. I don't do that, but it's very different in this than it would be in a Souls game, whereas an arcane build in here is more about elemental damage and putting fire gems and bolt gems on your weapons and having the damage on those improve. And arcane improves Molotovs, would you believe? It makes Molotovs better. And you find spells you can use instead of shooting. So I can shoot a mini meteor out of my eyeball at the moment, and it's glorious. Like almost like Cyclops, but if instead of a laser, he just shot a sort of a blue ice cube at someone, but hurt them really bad with it. Like really looks amazing. And like for me, like the plot together, like it feels like the most like, I wouldn't say easy to understand, but it felt like the most contained story we've seen in a Souls game for a while. Like it's it, and like there was a really like amazing, like 30-page sort of breakdown of the lore put out by someone whose name completely escapes me shortly after.
Was this the one that John Denton was referencing?
It might have been, yeah. It's a huge, great thing, and it's like it really goes into it and like it explains it all. And there's not quite as much that's left to your interpretation. Like there's no like, is Solaire really Gwyn's son? That's not there.
Yes.
Yeah, well, of course he is. You've thrown me. And like it's a bit more cut and dry in this. Like there are definite answers to things, whereas there aren't in the other one. But then that's okay, you know. And not everything has to be a super mystery. You know, this has answers, you know, and you work through it, and things reveal and things uncover, and it's mysterious as shit for ages. Like you don't know what's going on. Like why is it suddenly get all Cthulhu? Why is it all Cthulhu? I thought this was a game about werewolves. Like, and all the program material was all werewolves and beasts. There was no Cthulhu men in those at all. And it's like this sudden flop of like, it's almost like the Metal Gear Solid 2 where they didn't show Raiden, and everyone starts playing it, and after an hour you're like, who dis? I'm sorry, who dis? This is not Snake, this is Raiden. Who dis?
I wish they kept in the Umbasa.
Yeah, I know.
Because I just even the slightest connection to Demon Souls would have kind of made my year.
Yeah.
I'm not being grumpy or stroppy about this. No. It's not like the angry CJ show.
Demon Souls PS4 coming this year, right? You can feel it.
Yeah. Yep.
But right, so leading on from that, I mean, Bloodborne left me like I finished it. It was like incredible. Like that's my fucking game. That is mine. And then the DLC came out. Oh
yeah, we haven't really had a chat about that yet.
We haven't.
Massively.
Let's have a quick one now. DLC, the Old Hunters DLC, fucking brilliant. Brilliant. I would say, and I don't mean this lightly, it's up there with Artorias of the Abyss. Easy. Mm-hmm. Easy. And that, for me, is like top DLC. Like, that is like meaningful. Like, you go back to places you've been, and it does the same thing. You go into like a twisted, like, nightmare version of places you've been, and there's like the familiarity of the geometry. You're like, that looks like the church, but that's over there, and I think I know where this is supposed to be, and this bit's a bit like Old Yarnum, because there's, oh my god, what's that? You know, you see bosses hanging around just in the level every now and again, like, I remember you. There's a wonderful moment where you're jumping around in a cave, and you meet a guy very similar to one you meet in Old Yarnum that's got the machine gun. And you fight him in a cave, and he's super tough, so you can ignore him and run through, and you kind of run past those beast patients, the ghoul things that are scared of fire. And you just run into the middle of a dark cave, and just sitting in the cave is a blood-starved beast, just hanging out in this tiny cave, and he wrecks your shit. He is, and he will chase you across the entire level. He will chase you all the way to a boss. Like, he will not leave you alone. Like, and like it's the combination of the familiar with the unknown. Like, you see enemies that you've met before that look a bit different. You know, you see areas that are completely warped and twisted. You see old enemies that have learned a few new fucking terrifying new tricks, like legitimately terrifying. Like it's got so many like twists and turns. Again, like you've got three very clear sections. There's like a bit that's very reminiscent of Old Yarnum. There's a bit that's very sort of cathedral-y, and there's like a bit that's like a fishing town, like a goozy sort of Cthulhu fishman fishing town, and like some of the references back and like the item descriptions, the things you find, it really starts sort of throws the whole plot like up on its head again. You're like, but that's hang on a minute, what? There's a point where if you are in the there's a place called a fight with a woman called Maria in the thing, who's the character on the front of the DLC. She's the old hunter sitting on the chair with her legs crossed. That's her. And there's a big clock behind her, and on the clock face are the runes, like the carol runes that you pick up. They're all around that, and that's like, hang on a minute, do they come from here? What? But like, it is for me, like the Old Hunters DLC is continuing the From tradition of their DLC always be good, yo. And I know we're going to touch on some Scholar stuff soon, so we'll cat that in a minute. But like, they have nailed every single DLC, and I am absolutely fine with, I think for the first time ever, I will happily buy the Season Pass for Dark Souls 3 because I know it's going to be fucking good. I know it's going to be good. Because they've never let me down.
They're batting 3 for 3, aren't they?
They are. And that's unheard of.
You've not really seen sort of the all of what Scholars DLC can do, but yeah, they are uber batting 3 for 3.
So so Game of the Year number 1 from our Game of the Year Twin Humanities show is Bloodborne, surprising no one.
No, it's kind of nice because you give me an increased flavour and a tickle to jump back at it. So that's cool.
Good. Okay, I don't think I know what your Game of the Year is. What's your game of the year?
I've kind of already.
Have you spaffed your load on that already?
I've already tickled into that. So
have you revealed?
Yeah, I had to. I just had to go headlong. So yes.
So it's Scholar, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'd quite like to. I mean, I was wondering if we should sort of save. I wondered if Blood Bowl was going to be your top one. I wondered if we should save that for the next two in Humanities. But I know that
it's too late. We've done it now.
Yeah, but I know that we've got like the likes of Josh Crow and Chris Mercier are going
Say that
through.
Again? Chris Mercier.
Yes.
Chris
Mercier. There's no need to be afraid. So I know those two are going through it and really loving it. Peter Cleaves is banging through it, so it'd be fun to get to raise a posse and have a scholar natter, I think, next time. So we'll.
Damn boy.
Yeah, and plus we've got run into Dark Souls 3 coming in, and there's a few.
Is that coming out this year?
Funnily enough, yeah.
Oh,
and
man.
there's a few newsy bits as well. So yeah, and we've clearly got stuff for the next other Humanities with Tokusatsu and other bits.
Mate, I have. You know, I don't write many words. I've written a lot of words for our next show.
Jesus
I have
Christ.
been prolific as shit, man. You are going to be blown away.
Awesome. So yeah, we're back on track. It appears we have more forward momentum than we ever dreamed. I know it's been a bit back and forth. We weren't quite sure how this show was going to come about, but thank you for listening. And please join us again and say hello on Twitter. That is the best place to find us and follow us and give us a lovely hug.
Through the internet.
Yes. Goodbye.
Or if you see us in public.
I've just said goodbye.
Say again.
Bye.
Bye.